We just pretend nobody's there. Should probably share my screen.
Probably. Hunter did do a good job with this video.
Should you be presenting, maybe?
Probably.
Well. Welcome to the 2,000 subscribers chat, everyone. Who's on the bridge? We got Lana Lacious. Hey, Cognitive Thought.
Hi, guys.
That's great. I feel honored.
It's your 2K sub, man. I didn't want to miss the celebration. Why not?
Great to have you. I've invited all the people who in some way have collaborated with me, musically or otherwise, mainly musically. You know,
no, it's well deserved. Yeah, I think you should have more than fucking 2K. I mean, congratulations, but we need to get you to 3 now.
Yes.
We always need a goal.
Oh, look, there's Deplorable Trumpster on the screen there. I invited him as well, but he's busy working, and so is Modwain. And Carlos, I think he's in the chat. Yeah, hi, Carlos.
I think you do better contacting people through Twitter than Skype, because I fucking hate Skype and I had to log in. I saw it on my phone and I was like, oh, God, I've got to log in on my computer. This is the slowest thing ever.
Yeah, did I not invite you to the Twitter convo? I think I did. I thought I invited everyone.
Oh, no, there's a lot of people in Twitter convo, but I don't think you put the link in there. Or at least I haven't got...
I did a couple of times, but you know what? I'll do it again, just to be sure. Oh, and welcome Tailed Feature as well.
Hello.
I'm just going to invite... It's like flying a rocket ship. Sorry, I'll just do the invite. You chat away there. You chat away there. It's like... Right.
Where is the group? I've not got this message.
Okay, let me go to my Twitter. God, it's like flying a spaceship, literally. Twitter. Okay.
I'm just letting you know because
It makes things easier.
Yeah, Cog isn't in that group.
Oh my god. Okay, sorry.
You terrible human
there it
being.
is. I am terrible. I'm just gonna add you now.
And I'm still fucking here, and no one has an excuse now.
Yeah.
You're in that Twitter group. What the fuck?
Oh my god. Oh my god, that's bad. I can blame myself. How do I add add members? Here we go.
Oh, wow, is that Joy Sparkle's BS in the front row there in that picture? I swear down, that's Joy Sparkle.
I think it is.
Nah, she looks too happy. Enough manic tears.
So much like it, just the forehead and the eyes and the hair.
Okay. Mad World. Yeah, I was thinking I could do a retrospective. I haven't really paid much attention with the chat because I was setting up the sound with Lana like 5 minutes before the stream started. So, but I could do somewhat of a retrospective. I would have really loved if Felfop would have come, but obviously it's a very American unfriendly time. Like he's, I think, 8 hours behind, so it's 2 a.m.
And he does work a lot as well.
That's true, yeah. So, yeah, he kind of went AWOL a bit. I think he got a bit jaded or something, but I'm sure he'll be back. I want him back anyway. So, what I want to do maybe during the stream, maybe revisit some of the stuff I did over the last 1.5 years. I was really shocked to see, I mean, I had 2K subs yesterday, and I was really shocked to see, oh shit, I'm on YouTube since 2006, but I haven't posted since then, obviously. So let me just see if that's I have this playlist. I just wanted to revisit one thing that was the first thing, pretty much the first musical thing that I posted. It's also an original composition, not a cheap parody of something. And then we'll come to...
How dare you!
I was going to say, could you add any more scorn to your voice with that?
I hate parody. Oh, I've invited to a group. There you go. And there's still no message.
Yeah, so you can scroll up to the old messages. That's what I meant to ask you. Can you see any of the old messages?
You can't do that.
Wait,
can't scroll up.
Send you yeah,
Right.
that's a
I've sent me the Hangout link. I've got it now. I'm here. I'm posting it myself. Fuck it.
Carlos said to invite Bearing and Sugar Tits. Yeah, I'd love to invite them, but you know it's really hard to get. I mean, I had invited Sugar Tits to the Gulag song, you know, and I had invited a number of people. It was really hard to kind of get more female, no women to sing. I got Lana, one of the first people who contributed to it, and so it was.
You should have asked Blair White. when you can't get women, go for women.
Yeah, I actually don't know if she sings. That's a good point, though. The next time I'm gonna try. I mean, I'm not sure I'm gonna try Margaret. I did invite Based Mama and Sugar Tits, obviously. I mean, who else? Let me see. Oh, Babbling Brook at the end, and then Hannah Wallen. Who did you suggest that, Lana? To invite Hannah.
Yeah, I think
she came through. She actually came through and she actually sang, so that was great. So that's great, you know. So let me just share this thing, how everything started. It's called What Feminists Don't Know, and what really inspired me with this one was I had listened to a talk by Janice Fiamengo, the Canadian professor, and she was heckled by another professor in her talk. Let me see. I don't know what the hecklers. But there was a fairly well-known professor from that university, but she said something like, I really don't know what the hell you're talking about, so let me play this. And I swear I didn't do any pitch correction, I didn't have it then. I just used that quote directly. And there's some quotes from Rebecca Watson as well, you'll spot them. It's a bit low.
Many people on YouTube like calling outspoken women cunts.
Is that loud enough?
Yeah, it's better.
And any men who defend outspoken women are vanginas.
feminist, and I don't know. I am a feminist, and I don't know. I am a feminist, and I don't know.
There were many angry tears shed that day.
I am a feminist, and I don't
We
know.
want our bacon.
I am a feminist, and I don't know.
We want cheap jeans.
I am a feminist, and I don't know.
I would speak about the harassment I
And
received.
I don't know. And I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
In a video that would go on to be about fundraising for cancer research. Nonstop rape threats and death threats and slurs.
And I don't know.
Dozens of messages telling me that I am subhuman, that I deserve to be raped, that I'm fat and ugly and a prude and a whore.
And I don't know.
All the suffering.
You can move to the United States of America because they believe, like you do, that freedom of speech is a religion.
When is this video from?
Tell me to stop
Good question.
talking about my harassment.
1.5 years?
You are
Oh,
worse
3
than
years. Shit.
You're older than you thought.
Big Red. Always a laugh. So yeah, that was my first one. What do you guys think?
It's quite bleak, wasn't it?
It's bleak, but I get the point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bleak, but I always like I think that unwittingly, without knowing about the term, it's actually 3 years old. I already started to get into diversity with that video, showing diversity. I think, and that's a good point to one of my next collaborations I did, but. I am showing diversity in a way. Okay, I'm not that diverse because I only showed boys and not girls from the third world. I was kind of debating with myself whether I should add some, but I just wanted to juxtapose it with with the fainting couch, with the suffering of feminists who said that they suffer so much from being abused online and then showing minors. Well, that's a nice. I think that's a nice picture to end it on anyway. The boy doing a somersault in a dump.
That's pretty much
Find
what
your joy
YouTube is.
Exactly. That's brilliant. You should meme that. Excuse me. I know. Oh shit! I didn't mean to bring down the party mood, but it was just my entry point into the whole thing. I was already interested in MRA issues then. Obviously, I think the honey badgers, were they a thing already? Well, Girl Rights What was a thing anyway, and I think I probably started listening to Bane 666 as well. And look where that got him. Now he was in prison. Now in jail. So it's just like a never-ending trajectory of like wins. Okay.
I like how you started off with kind of, well, it was a serious message in that video, but everything else just kind of went a bit sillier. That was kind of like my channel when I started. I was like, I'm going to be really serious and talk about all these issues and stuff. But after a while, you're just like, you know what? Fuck it. Just make fun of them instead.
Yeah, it's much better. No, Bane isn't in jail, but he was for a weekend. Somebody tweeted a tweet about trucks on his Twitter, and that was obviously...
That was Goodfella, not Bane.
Yeah, that was good for
Bane, shit. Yeah. I don't know why I mix up the names. They're so different. But I think the reason is that they have.
He's in prison for a weekend, I think it was.
Yeah, weekend. And I think that the problem is that they both have 6s in their usernames, so that's why I mix up the usernames constantly. I did invite Bane anyway. Not good fella, but Bane I did invite, but I don't know where he is. He should be. It should be evening there in Australia. What time is it there in Australia?
It's nearly 9 o'clock.
In your part of Australia, okay, 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably about 8:30 or something where he is.
I need to correct that. I don't know why I keep mixing up good fella. No.
It's like saying, well,
I'm sure he appreciates it.
yeah, both myself and Cognitive thought of a T in our username. Do you get us mixed up?
Yeah, I will shortly.
I mean, your avatars are so similar.
I know.
There's a head. There's no eyes.
I should put a red cross on mine so you know I'm English. Yeah. Just put a red cross on the face.
yeah, red cross and blue cross for Scottish. That's perfect. Yeah.
But it's a white cross in Scottish.
It's still it's an X. Okay, that's a cross as well, though. It's just 45 degrees.
If we start getting flags involved, are we going to have to keep you two apart?
Mine's more the Christian cross, and Threading Fates is the noughts and crosses. There you go.
Yeah, what does that cross stand for anyway? I mean, I know it's Scotland, but where does it come from?
It's the St Andrew's cross. St Andrews was crucified on a cross that way round instead of the way that Jesus was.
Ah, okay. So they invented this special brand of BDSM in Scotland.
Yeah, that's where all BDSM comes from.
You've just got to do it different, don't you?
It's just the weather, you know.
He's out sadistic streak.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Spreading.
That's why the main drink that comes from Scotland has a warning on the back of it that you shouldn't give it to kids. It's Iron Brew. It literally says that it can cause ADHD in children.
Cause brain damage.
Yeah, Scottish brew. That Scottish.
You can actually get that here as well.
You can get Iron Brew. Oh my god, there you go, Scottish drink.
Yeah.
I don't even know what.
Read the
that
back
is.
of the can. Read the back of the bottle. I was sat here. I bought an 8 can because it was on offer for $1.50 in the shop, and I was like, 8 cans of Iron Brew for $1.50. Yeah. So I bought 8 cans, and I went home, and as I was drinking it, I read the back of the can, and I was like, oh fuck, I've got 8 cans of retard juice here. Fucking hell.
What is it? Is it cider or what is it? I don't know.
It's not. It's just a fizzy drink, but it's God, how to explain it, Tailed? It's not quite orange, but it's not quite.
Well, their tagline.
Find Fanta and crack.
Kinda, yeah. Their tagline used to be that it was made from iron, as in it was it gets its colour from the rust from girders, from iron girders.
That's Scottish drink for you, man.
Aye.
Yeah, rust. I want some rust.
Yeah, it's pretty nasty.
I don't mind Iron Brew, but I do when I read the can. I was like, oh shit, they never said that when I was a kid growing up.
Explains so much.
Yeah, I don't really drink it though. I can't drink fizzy stuff.
Shit. Sorry, I'm still searching for another video from Felfop.
Actually, that does bring up an interesting question. Have you guys ever seen Coke with coffee? Is that a flavour you guys get?
What the fuck is Coke?
Coca-Cola.
Oh, Coke with coffee.
Coke. I thought poke.
I said Coke. I was like,
Not Coke, sorry.
Coke as well.
That's my bad English.
me waking up
with coffee.
waking up the missus.
Coke with coffee. Well, I mean, Coke's got caffeine in
There's a
it.
poke and some coffee. Coke and coffee. I know there was a guy who I used to work with in a casino who used to always have that. He'd always get an espresso and then he'd dump it into a glass of Coke, and then it'd just froth up, and he'd be like, "Delicious! You should they should sell this stuff." Apparently, yeah, it's sold in other places of the world, but no.
Oh no, that sounds terrible. Coke with coffee. Oh shit.
Yeah, we've got such a huge coffee culture in my city that they've decided that Coke and coffee are two things that just belong together.
Yeah,
it doesn't.
It doesn't. No.
Maybe
I don't
Coke
like coffee in
and
general.
decaf. Is there a caffeine-free Coca-Cola? You could mix that with decaf coffee then.
No, that's the point. That's the thing. He says it's better than a Red Bull. Espresso and a glass of fizzy, not diet, normal Coke. He said it's the better pick-me-up than a Red Bull. That's why he likes it.
Cool.
Doesn't Coke already have caffeine in it though?
Yeah, no, that's the whole point.
That's the point. It's the potency. It's like a
Espresso
squared
plus
coffee.
caffeine from the Coke. I don't know why you don't just get a double espresso. Like in my head, I'm like, he's like, oh no, is that too much caffeine then? Like he's got to knock it on the head with a Diet Coke if it's just a little bit more than espresso you want.
Yeah, but that's like, you know, is one whiskey enough? Can you have a whiskey with a whiskey on top?
Yeah.
It's the same idea.
A stein of whiskey and sink a shot of whiskey in it.
Wait,
It
so
has to be two different whiskeys.
Is the Coke warm then, or is the coffee cold?
Am I the only
No,
person
it's
who likes
actually
triples at the
it's
bar?
pre-mixed together in the Coke.
So it's
So
cold.
the whole
it's a
thing's
cold
cold.
drink.
Yeah. So it's like getting an iced
coffee.
tea or an iced coffee from the
Yeah.
shop, but it's got Coke in it as well.
Yeah.
It makes me feel ill just thinking about it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I have invited Adam and his apple as well. I don't know. He might come on. I,
guess
don't know what times in Africa.
Can I ask a question actually? So I'm guessing everyone, Lana, by what you said, do you go to the bar and buy I go to the bar and I'll be like, hi, can I get like a triple in here? Because I'm probably going to come back for more. I might as well just milk. Like, you know, I always get like,
Is that
but I
cheaper?
get like, I don't know. It's just like I'm not going to drink. I don't really down drinks. I usually like because I don't really drink. So I'll buy like a triple rum at the bar and then I'll just sit there and milk it, and just enjoy it as an old fashioned. Yeah.
Just
See, I
make
like
sure
to
you
sit
don't
there
go-
with my gin and my juice and just like sip it in the corner somewhere and watch everybody else get plastered.
So mine's a rum old fashioned, and I'll just sit there just with it, and I'll just literally fiddle around with it on the table. Do you know what I mean? Just like in its glass, you know. Shake
Yeah,
it a
just
bit,
make sure
watch
you
the
never
ads keep me.
Make sure you never go to the toilet, so you're not getting it spiked. You know, that's the disadvantage of a large drink, right?
No, what
you
are
have to
talking about?
nurse it.
It's in a small tumbler glass. I'm fucking 6'2". That thing to me is tiny. Not a pint. It's not like a pint of like fucking rum. Like that's ridiculous.
All right. I thought.
The sort of thing where you drink it and your left arm gets drunk, but that's about it.
No, but it's like the thing is that it's a triple, which I'm gonna take my time with. So like in about 2-3 hours, I may go for I've got a small amount of liquid going into me. I'm not gonna piss. It's not like I'm down in beers and going, I'm gonna need to piss soon. Oh fuck, I can't leave this beer out here at 7.
I mean, that was amazing me always when I went to the first time to an Irish bar, and the amount of time people stood at the stalls and like let out all that liquid, you know. But then when you see what they put in, like the 12 pints, 14 pint, and then closing time. All right, folks, and everybody goes to the bar. Okay, 4 pints. It's just okay. That means we're gonna go home in about an hour. It's so cool. I love it.
I have a mate like that. He was a backpacker from England. And yeah, the number of beers he has in a night, I'm surprised he's still alive.
Oh yeah, people drink in our It's worse in Scotland though. Isn't that right, Tales?
Apparently so.
You got to live up to the stereotype.
Of course.
That's terrible.
Then Ireland is just. Oh God, do you know why they sound like that? That's just a drink. I'm joking. I'm joking.
Well, I know that the Irish people drive that slow because of the drink. I always feel like when I'm driving in Irish traffic, especially in the morning, you can gauge people's hangovers by how slow they go. And how long they take to realize that the traffic light's gone green, you know. It's just, oh yeah. Or maybe it's just the motivation, you know, gotta go to work now. I don't know. Shall we take a bit of music then?
Sure.
Okay, you're indulging me.
It is your stream.
Now, share, present.
And I want to build up a safe space, a safe space. 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 Yeah, I think it's pretty clear what we gotta do. Take that straight white man down, at least a peg or two. Because no matter where you go, it stays the same. They got all the best spots, all the best places. We see those guys like Trump, they say mean things a lot. But we got Hillary and she's gonna make it stop. You can hear it every single time he talks. Every one of them is dirty from the bottom to the top. Gender studies, I learned not to trust all those straight white guys. Money, sex, and power is all that Make us a safe space, a safe space. No darkies. Make us a safe space, a safe space. No gays. Make us a safe space, a safe space. No women. Make us a safe space, a safe space. I want my country back. But all my hand is wiped away too loud. And they wanna take all that we have. Cause every single one of them darkies is dirty from the bottom to the top. My grandpa always told me not to trust the flies, queers or dies. And they try to get into power and steal away your rights. And they're doing it to us right now, so we must stand strong. And pushing them out of all of our spaces just can't be wrong. Well, now let's make us a safe space, a safe space. No darkies. Make us a safe space, a safe space. No gays. Make us a safe space, a safe space. No women. Make us a safe space, a safe space. We need to have our own safe space, our safe space. My bubble, cause it's all about the race, about the race. White devil, are you threatening me with rape, me with rape? Tea kettle, make us a safe space, a safe space. Better have a white face, a white face. No honkies, it's time you had to change, had to change. My way, you're all people hippie junkies. You KKK? Make us a safe space, a safe space. I'm telling you, man, you need to stop pushing us like this, or we're gonna have to kick you out of this country. No, it's just all there is to it. Really, out of the country, like you control this place. This is our country too. We've been running the show, and it's ours to run. Well, we now control the universities.
Holy shit!
Not bad. Okay, turn myself up.
What did I just watch?
This was that's like 2.5 years ago, 2 years ago. I don't know. No, 1 year ago. It's more than
I
1 year
thought I
ago.
knew all of Felfop's songs. I didn't even know about that one.
Yeah, see, I always wanted to remix it because, and to my ears, it's a little bit too nasty sounding, and I didn't have all the knowledge that I have now, you know, about mixing. But like that was recorded on his iPhone. He didn't even have a microphone or anything. He just sent me the vocals recorded on the iPhone. I think that was before we got him the focus right, you know. But yeah, that's a cool one. I've never released it on my channel because I wanted to remix it, so didn't get around to it. And then like I met Lana and she kept me busy. So I'm probably never gonna get around to it ever.
No, it's all right. You can work on that.
But the good thing. Oh, thank you. How magnanimous
I know.
of you.
I'm just so generous. I'm such a giver.
There you are. I mean, like, you know, Felfop is probably my favorite writer when it comes to parody lyrics. It's just it's so funny. Like some of the stuff he did on Jenny McDermott, for instance, and Christy Winters, is just amazing. It's just I might play something later, but we'll have to go back to go back to the future first. Since I have Tailed feature on Tailed, I'm working on something.
Yes.
Do you wanna talk about that?
Do I? What were we working on? I can't even remember. So I'm still kind of
recovering.
I'm still recovering from surgery, so heads everywhere.
See, I'm such a slave driver. I didn't know when I started music production, but about 80% of it is running after people and forcing them to do things they don't want to. Or maybe they want to, I don't know. But it's called Hit Me, and we already had it on my channel. But I thought I'd just give you a quick look into my Mad Lab. Let me just unshare that. Let me just get this chat out of the way. Sorry, I have to do this. So, Hit Me, and it's based on Sixpence None the Richer. Lana provided the vocals, and we had a pretty good mix. And our Felfop, to tie it all together, wrote the lyrics. It was about, was it Berkeley or Charlottesville or a mixture? Where was the
Berkeley.
Goldilocks?
Mainly about Berkeley and Moldilocks.
Yeah, Moldilocks. So that happened in Berkeley. So, And
I don't know. There's been so
said
much
it.
stuff lately that she could just be one of a million.
So, yeah. I mean, she just got famous because she got socked in the face. Basically, that was the whole spiel. But yeah, I'm sure there's more activists. But yeah, I got a bunch of guitar from Tailed, and that's what you see on screen right now. All that green stuff, all that good green stuff. It's all guitar.
Yep, I'm supplying the green.
Yeah, you should have really made it blue, to be honest. You know,
Blue and white.
just to be. Lana's always. I'm trying to have the singing always kind of purpley, pinkish. You know, just because.
That's sexist.
No, I'm just referring to her avatar, obviously. So she's chosen to be sexist against herself. If purple or pink is indeed a sexist color, I don't know that. But yeah, I mean, quickly, do we have the old mix? The old mix. That's oh yeah, that's more or less the mix on the video. I'm just gonna play the intro. Let's see. And that's from a shitty karaoke track or something. I don't know. It could have been from the original. It's very phasey and very. I don't know. It's not very nice.
Still gonna get this stream flagged. So everyone, send your congratulations, Shekels. It's gonna get demonetized this shit.
Oh shit! I forgot. I want to enable Patreon, but Super Chat. Anyway, that's what it was like. Now. I've started working on Tailed features guitar, and this is what it sounds like now. Ton of reverb. I like it though. Oh, I love that vocal. Oh, I love it. Swoon.
Oh, you know, drinking white guys.
And the accordion. I'll play it until the break.
Is that my bass too?
Sorry?
Is that my bass as well?
It's mixed in with my bass. I mixed both because I just sound a little bit fuller. I haven't really done any sound processing on your bass yet. So yeah, that's your bass basically. This with the classic. Doesn't sound like much without the music, but
yeah.
Let's just have some drums on. Have some singing on it as well. It sounds weird without guitar. The backing vocals is way too loud there. I don't know why. I think it's something with the routing, you know, once everything's together. But yeah, I mean, I'm not going to go into production tricks on this Hangout anyway, but there is, you know, just to say this much, there is quite a bit of processing already on the guitars, you know, to spread them out stereo, to make them, and the vocal is much nicer now than it was on the official video mix. So the whole point of this is I don't necessarily want to re-release all videos as videos, but I do want to bring out an album, and I've got currently Lana and Tailed features on the list on the team, and we'll see who else. So I'm starting to re-record and remix. What where I already played all the music myself. A lot of people don't know that I'm trying to make all the music, but some of the tracks I'm using karaoke tracks like this one because they're planned like by impatient people like Felfop, who says, we have to get in on this. We have to get this out by Saturday. You got 3 days. So there's no way I can replay a whole song like in 3 days. It takes longer. I'm just not that fast. So okay, let's use a karaoke track and get flagged. You get flagged anyway, because my when I replay stuff, it's so close to the original, it gets flagged anyway. Cock. So there's no workaround.
I know. I had it when I think I showed this on a stream of mine when you were on there, and it got flagged as well. For like showing a minute of it or something.
But there was one stream you sang all the way through that motherfucking Sargon song as well.
Yeah, no, that all of those got flagged, but the actual Rucker ones are actually copyrighted on the Rucker. So it like when I just turn around to him and go, "I'm calling you bluff," because I know Rucker doesn't give a fuck about people. He's been. Do you know how many times he's had to get a new account on YouTube? Fuck you. Like I know he has no issue with people sharing his stuff. So yeah. I call you bluff, and they've always had to leave me alone. I've never had an issue with that. I've always just gone, "Fuck you." I call you bluff. Third party ad revenue. Fuck you.
It's good.
You don't own anything on this. You're trying to claim for someone else, and I probably know more about him and have friends who actually know the guy more than you do. So fuck you. It's just stupid.
Yeah, I wonder today. I mean, it's weird. I had a friend of mine who I produced a song with, and we made a video about the Rossport 5. It's like basically shell forcing a village up in the northwest of Ireland for putting a gas pipeline, I think, or gas pipeline, I think, gas or oil, I'm not sure. But anyway, we released it on his channel, and then we made a completely new channel. And on his channel it wasn't flagged, but on the completely new channel it was flagged. And we had used original material from a film, The Pipe, and we had the permission from the producer and director of the film. He actually sent me the original director's cut of the film to download. So I knew, hey, I'm in the right. And there was some company, Gunpowder or something they're called, and they actually do host videos, so they actually do sell videos online, and I checked the whole catalog, but The Pipe wasn't in it, so I called them on it, and a day later they said, yeah, it's okay. I think they're just chancing. I thought they're chancing their arms with smaller channels, or maybe not, just channels that have like a few videos, and those people aren't. They don't want to kind of kick up a stink. But with you, I'd say they probably want to cut into your juicy revenue, Cog.
Yeah. Like I'm getting anything from fucking revenue. The most I get from revenue actually is the lovely donators and the super chat. To be fair, it's like, even though I like to make videos, do you know how tempting it is to just do streams every fucking day? Really tempting. Oh. I still like making videos, so it's one of those. But it supports my channel. People support the channel, so it's like that's why I'll continue to go. It's yeah, it's good. It's a good feeling. It's a warm feeling.
Oh yeah, I had a Patreon for a while, and thank you. But I had two actually for a little while, but I didn't really get into it. The problem with the Patreon is you really have to be more consistent, and you're super consistent, Cog. And you're doing something practically every day, which is amazing. I couldn't do that, but
I've taken a break for that. I've been a bit ill over the last couple of days, but I've been on streams. I've still done streams and stuff, and I am working on a video. It's just the fucking research. Yeah.
But it helps when you don't sleep, right?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. I don't know. I decided to have a nap at 8 o'clock last night, and then I woke up at like 8 o'clock this morning. That's not a nap. That's 12 hours sleep.
It's just the body wanting its due back from the last 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, it's just it's gonna happen. I like in my head. I'm like, I know I've not done anything in the last day, and people are probably like, well, you did something yesterday. It's just like you went to sleep. It was 12 hours. It's half a day. So the video I was going to say, Real Risen, the video you did with me as well. Do you know the SJWs one? Did you get the same flag that I got? I got flagged by 26 or something copyright.
I did definitely got flagged, but I don't know if it was that many. It was probably 8 or so. I don't know, 8 or 10.
I got like 26 or something. It was ridiculous. All from like I think like Sony and like I don't even know who it was. I just remember there was like 26 claims.
Oh
like,
shit!
Did we do nothing in that video? Did we not do anything in that video? We took an instrumental, for fuck's sake.
My Patreon is Timothy is on the chat. That's brilliant, Timothy, my man. Love you. Now we only need to. It's so great. He was my Patreon for a good while, and really appreciate it, man. You know, I really do. It's I feel really bad that I didn't mention your name in the credits. You know, my Patreons. I thought I'd wait till I have a few. You know, bad excuse.
I do it all for free.
Yeah.
I'm cheap. What can I say?
Yeah, well, wait till you.
I want to pick that up.
When is your one?
For someone to pick that up.
Okay. I was thinking, I was thinking of it, but I didn't know what to say. I'm really slow. But are you gonna have your 1,000? Yeah, it's 70 cents to nothing is still nothing. So, are you gonna celebrate your 1,000 subs soon, Lana? Everybody on the chat subscribe. Everybody on the stream subscribe to Lana at once, immediately. Immediately. I dare. I demand it. France is thinking of lowering the age of consent to fucking 11 years old. Is that to fucking 11 years old or to fucking 11 years old? Well, I guess it's the same thing. Well, Carlos says 11.
Probably a white flag for all of the
A white flag for all of the what?
10-year-olds. You can fuck them. Come over here. I'm sure they want a lot of immigration in France right now. It's not an appealing thing for because let's be fair, we know about immigration from Islamic countries where you have these weird fucking festivals with boys that they dress up in like girls' makeup and shit. Yeah, it's fucking weird, right? And that shit happens. So to sit there and go, oh yeah, we're raising the age of consent to 10. What the fuck? Wow. Oh, sorry, lowering it. Sorry, it'd be worse if they were raising it. Lowering it to 10.
I thought you were being progressive, saying raising it.
Raising from 5.
See, they are trying harder.
Yeah, it's
10 now.
Pakistan. It would be. Oh, it's crazy. That is crazy.
Yes, that is crazy. That's mental.
Okay. Oh my god. What else can I share? Gulag song.
Yeah, I'm working tomorrow.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Well, oh yeah, before I play that, so here is the thought anyway. Since I'm having big problems with consistency and I can't chuck out a song every week, even reliably every 2 weeks, it's more like a 3-week cycle. I was thinking of doing more streams. I don't know. If you listen to the stream, leave a comment later or say something in the chat about that. But I was hoping to do at least every 2 weeks or even a weekly one with Tailed Feature and Lana as my permanent guests, and then whoever wants to jump on, that'll be great.
No pressure.
I've chosen a really. I don't know if the spot I've chosen is great because it's obviously very, let's say, unfriendly against Americans. Because, you know, that's the time that pretty much everybody is asleep. And then also you can't have a job if you're on the European timeline and want to like participate, then you kind of have to be off on that day. But I thought Wednesday morning is kind of a cool one for me. I keep that like that's my studio day. So, you know, where I don't work or do anything else. Just music and YouTube and all that. So what do you think?
Yeah,
well, I'll be unemployed soon.
What? Really?
Yes.
You'll just be temporary, is it? Just seasonal, is it?
Yeah, I work until the end of the school year.
Echo.
Yeah, it's all him.
No, I'm not echoing.
It's not me.
You are.
Oh,
Hello.
sorry. There's no echo. There's no
We're
echo.
all echoing.
No, you're not. You're not now.
Didn't we say this before?
Fake news.
Yeah, fake news. I deny that I pulled up the fader of the speakers when I closed the door. I deny that.
It's CNN.
I even have
was
to
so
look for
hungry.
part-time work right now. I'm thinking over Christmas I should be able to get some part-time work because even though I'm like doing YouTube, it's like and I get it, I want to do it every day. That's the thing, and it's like it's hard to make money off this shit. So it's like and I don't like the idea of, even though I can make an okay wage, obviously technically by having YouTube on job seekers, I'd rather not be on job seekers. I'd rather be working and bringing. So
that's the thing. Well, that's the thing with the job seekers, right? I mean, I'm on, job seekers it's called here as well. I think, they really hammer home that fact. I don't really want to be on it either. So I found a 1 day a week job, but it's not enough. I mean, obviously they take away the money that you earn from whatever you get, so you really want to get out of it. But I've started
mine's this dumb thing. Mine's this universal credit, but universal credit works on the basis of say you earn money and you're working and stuff like that, and you're earning money. I think you let them know and stuff like that, and then they take off 80 pence to every pound or some shit. It basically means that you don't really get any. Like if you earn like £800 or something in the month or something from a job, then they'll just go, you're basically going to get about 20 quid off them or something like that. It's one of those.
Yeah.
It's not really worth your while until you make so much that you don't need job seekers anymore. That's the whole point, that you basically, well, you might as well get off it. But it has to be, it has to be something that. See, I want to get back into. I want to do part time because I don't want to. I'm in IT and I don't want to do it full time because it fills up your head completely, and I can't use that because I was doing it for literally I was working in the industry for 15 years, and I got more interested in studio work for the last 2.5 years, and I'd be mixing until 2 a.m. in the morning, just to get some time in, but you keep thinking about, especially when you're doing manager stuff, you keep thinking about it even at the weekends, it's just constantly taking up your mind. And now I find about the work, in IT. So now that I'm a year unemployed, I find that the studio takes over that space, that it's kind of, how can I make these guitars from tailed features sound better, how can I have more sustain on a bass, whatever, or how can I make Lana's words sound more intelligible, and stuff like that, and I really preferred thinking about music than about some stupid code or something, or management, management, it's like music production, like I said, it's still managing people, but still, and so I want to I've started filling up my head with music production knowledge, and geez, there's no space for learning new programming languages or shit like that. There just isn't.
I don't know about you, Lana, but I feel quite insulted there.
I was trying to let it pass. It helps to drink.
Yeah, there has to be some deprecation because nothing you record, and even if I would get a guitar solo from your man from Slash, I would a recording from him, I would still try to make it better in production, or Robert Fripp for that matter. That's part of the job. There's just no way you can take a raw recording and just put it into a mix. It's just not. Well,
you mean you're a control freak? That's what you mean.
Oh,
he's
yeah,
German.
absolutely.
Yeah, of course.
Coming from a German family, he's normal.
Oh yeah.
They're all like that.
Okay, that's so cool.
You can't help it.
Share. Present. Okay, let's listen to some talk about control freakism. Now here's an interesting one. I got Dr. RandomerCam to collaborate on one of my tracks. That was it's nice that Cork is here because he provided about half the lyrics. Thank you, man. Because I'm not very funny with my lyrics, but you know, it was the first track where I tried my hand at writing lyrics. I'm not a songwriter, you know. I need a Bernie Taupin to my to my world, you know. If I'm writing songs, I can only provide the music. But it was really interesting because I had Dr. RandomerCam. I have invited him as well, but I might still be asleep. I'll probably send him a tweet in a second. I had asked him if I could help him or participate in his projects, because you know he obviously he's on his second album now, and he's brilliant. But I thought, I could help you, especially when he started off, you know, could do this, that, the other. And he said, decline, because I want to do everything by myself. So he's a bit of a control freak himself. So that's par for the course, I'd say. But I was really stoked when he said, he's going to take part in this project, the Gulag Choir. So that was an amazing project. Really love it. It's one of my favorite productions I made. And we made a Twitter convo to plan everything. And after about 2 weeks after we released this, or I released it, he said, he's working on another project, and he's asked around if he could have some singers for his project. So now we have some people working on a project of his. I'm not going to say more. It's going to be probably a couple of months until that's going to be released. But it's really great working with him. It's fantastic, you know. So let's play this for a second. And Kog, you sang on this as well, didn't you? Did you sing on this as well?
Yeah, I did.
You did. You sang Tailed Feature. You sang Lana. Everybody sang.
Yeah.
I don't think I sang though. I just play all the instruments. Oh, and Dr. RandomerCam plays the guitar also, and he does this hilarious thing in the beginning. Yeah, just listen to it. Let's get the quality up now. I hope that's not gonna fuck up the stream now.
I like to build the world a home for perfect harmony, to praise the good and righteous gods, well-meaning POCs. I like to teach the world to search for wholesome fun and games. No porn, no racist rhetoric, no known disruptors' names. I'd like to urge you save the earth in total unity.
Shout out to
I'm to echo blameless thoughts locked in my company. I'd like to teach the world to talk in perfect harmony. I'd like to teach the world to march just like in Germany. To all minorities, we're keeping our search engines free from harmful honesty. We favor global strategies for growing purity. We want a world that's unified with true diversity. Against the monster we shall fight. With righteous flames we fly, the nasties from the edge we push, so our boats stop being dry. I'd like to make you enact equity, crush wronging and offensive speech by all means necessary. I'd like to teach the world to search.
Yeah.
Yay!
Oh, such good.
Yay.
Such good work.
Oh, everybody wants wrenches now. Everybody wants wrenches. Stargazer needs a wrench as well because he said he loves this song. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun writing the lyrics for that. What you do, man? It's fucking nice.
It was great, man. An honor. I just have to put the right thing back on there. That's the most important. Well, not the 1.8K. Where is it? Let's just mute this. Oh no! Shit! I lost it. I'm such a noob. You know, the video. It's really. There, that's the one I wanted. Now, it was really difficult to kind of put across what I wanted to put across, and I thought, okay, this has to go viral. This has to go viral. Obviously, it didn't. This has to go viral because it's such a great tune, and I have to make it so that like Google sees it. I tweeted it as Google, and. No reply, nothing. I wasn't even demonetized. Fuck it. I'm just too small. But that's one I'd love if Sargon as one of the big channels would pick it up and play it on their channel. You know, that'd be great. It's got the subscribe notice in there now. You know, so chilling. That's awesome. Yeah, and I played it to some normies anyway, and I think most people haven't got a clue who all these people in the you know, it's just so full of content, this song, that you cannot understand it if you're a normie. There's just no way.
It's all in jokes.
It just goes, yeah, it's just full of in jokes. It's just crazy. Like, you could watch that thing like 10 times and discover new stuff. Even I discover stuff in it that I forgot about it, you know. But yeah. Everybody has a wrench now. Great. Stop presenting. Wow. Shilling. No.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to drop out now.
Well, thanks, Tailed, for coming on.
Congrats on 2K.
Thanks.
And
Great.
I'll
invite some people.
Yeah, I'll catch you guys later.
See you later, Sam.
See ya.
Bye.
Great.
Oh, I probably won't be too far behind him. I can stay a little bit longer, but
Oh my god.
not too much.
We're only going for an hour and everybody's leaving already.
Aww.
Oh, let me just
So let's
tweet
stay
at
a
some
little bit
people.
longer.
Yeah, that's great. That's well appreciated. Now let me see. I don't know how you do it, Cock, but you when you're on the stream, you say, "Oh yeah, let me jump on Twitter and tweet this out and get some people and whatnot." I can't do this. I'm just too stupid.
I rarely do that. The thing is, when I do a stream, I could talk for hours anywhere on the subject that I brought to hand. But then I'll just throw the fucking Hangout link into the actual live chat, and then if people want to join, then they can, because people will want to join. Just to like your subs and stuff, you want to say congratulations and shit.
Yeah, making it interactive.
Exactly.
You mean I could share the invite in the chat, yeah?
Yeah, I'll just put it in there. If people want to click it and join, they can. If they've got obviously, guys, if you've got terrible microphone issues, you may get muted. But if you can sort it out, then cool.
Okay, let me try that. We're going for an hour anyway. It's gonna be interesting. It would be. Hangouts link is in the chat now.
Yay!
But loads of people are working. That's the disadvantage of like 10 a.m. like UK time in the 10 a.m. in the morning. 10 a.m. in the morning? Is there such a thing? Sorry. 10 a.m. in the morning.
As opposed to 10 a.m. in the evening.
Yeah, 10 a.m. in the evening. Well, technically it is 10 a.m. in the evening at your place.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Oh, Carlos can't join. Oh, I'm sorry. I would really like to hear from you, Carlos. And the Portuguese angle of things. Well, in Portugal, it's always 10 a.m. in the morning, especially when it's 10 a.m. in the evening.
It's always time to drink.
So let's see. Who else did I collaborate with? Oh yeah, Margaret McLennan. She did a thing. Does everybody know the hymn she did?
I do.
Hymn? Yeah. So there's a trick, and that's what I sometimes did. I just steal from a cappella people who are breaking out in song. They just go on their own videos or on streams even and start singing. So I just grab that and just put some piano underneath, and I really think that's That should be done more often, let's say. But yeah, I mean, people should sing more often. People should just sing.
People should give you vocals when they say they'll give you vocals.
True. Yeah, true. You got a point. Definitely. Rather like.
And I will get around to that eventually.
Within the first month of asking.
Eventually, it doesn't have a time limit on it.
Yeah. Well, that sometimes helps, with the time limit. So we've got a year of Trump. Any thoughts of that? Any thoughts on that? 1 year of Trump.
I don't think he's doing too bad a job.
Yeah.
I don't think he is, but I think some people are trying to get him taken out of office as usual. Well, I think that's every day, isn't it, though? So.
Yeah, they come up with the most ridiculous things, like that goldfish thing.
Oh, yeah.
He was literally copying what the president, or whatever he is, whatever the other guy did, and they're going on about how he was so disrespectful. It's like he was doing exactly what the other guy did.
Yeah. Well, not exactly. Didn't kind of throw it up in the air in a kind of more childish
He
move.
twisted his hand instead of an upwards throw. My god.
He did a power move, you see. Like an oppressive move. Like, there you go, you
an oppressive patriarchal downward hand tilt.
To the lowly kois, these Asian fish, these yellow fish.
How racist of him.
Yeah, and I think then when people realized their mistakes, then they started lecturing the Japanese prime minister on the right way of feeding his fish as well. Okay, he did it as well. He did it too. The poor fish, they were overfed. No respect. Respect for the fishes. So nobody's taking the Hangout link. Well, I might post it again, but everybody's working. Mugabe is still alive. Didn't know that. Oh, isn't Mugabe? Wasn't he appointed to something in the UN as well? Mugabe. Wasn't there something? Let me think.
Really?
There was some really.
It'd be funny if he was a human rights ambassador.
Yeah.
The irony.
There was something really crazy. I couldn't believe it. The latest from Al Jazeera. No, I don't know. Maybe I got that wrong, but I'll dig it up. See, I don't do op-eds and stuff like that. I don't do them. I'm not good with politics. I got more interested in history anyway. I was starting to listen to what's his name? Coach Red Pill, is that him? He's Coach Red Pill, and he had a really funny, really interesting hangout with Dr. Lehman, my less gay, more sane, more intelligent brother. And they were actually in Ukraine as well recently. But anyway, I'm just really interested in that whole kind of Eastern take of politics and Russian politics. I'm starting to get into it, And obviously with Jordan Peterson, I've started reading, or rather listening to the Archipel. Gulag or Gulag Archipel. I don't know what the English title is. I think the German is but anyway, the Gulag, right? And then so that's an interesting one. And then recently, Jordan Peterson released another talk on. It was on white supremacy, I think, and he went off on a rant, one of his usual rants, but. What's very interesting that after the kulaks were made, were basically imprisoned or hung, and people started to starve, then people, kids were like stealing or like picking up, the peasants were picking up leftover grain from their fields, and that was obviously looked at as stealing from the collective. So it was an act. It was treated as an act of treason. So people were basically executed for it, for stealing leftover grains after all the grains, the main crops had been already harvested and shipped off to the cities, and everybody on the country was starving. But what was interesting about that is that I heard the same thing, the exact same thing of people being shot for picking up leftovers was happening in Mao's under Mao's regime in the Great Leap Forward, were exactly the same thing. People were starving, so they started to pick up leftover, and they were shot of it. So that sounded like, oh, there's a pattern here: tens of millions dead, starvation, and people being shot for picking up leftovers. Yeah, that's. I wonder what's the unifying feature between those two regimes was.
Oh, that's easy. Neither of them are using real communism. Real communism's never been tried yet.
That's the one, right? Real communism, TM trademark. So yeah. Oh man.
When they start using real communism, then it will be a utopia.
Yeah, it's just one communism that we have to invent. We have to make better rules, and I'm sure we'll come up with them. We'll make them up as we go along. We'll just remove the fascist regime first, and then when we're in power, then we'll make them up. It's good. It's always a good point in time to make up rules when you're in power, rather than thinking it through beforehand. Kill the rich. I would say eat the rich. Does anybody remember that movie? That was a really funny one, English one. Eat the rich. Radical skeptical communism. Rebrand the middle class as rich. The argument was that, like Marxists don't really love the poor, but they sure do hate the rich, or whoever they perceive as richer than themselves. Did you notice that there was a Atheism is Unstoppable shout out in the Gulag song?
Ah, yeah.
Did you see that?
I wonder what the AIS was.
Yeah, you wonder why it was there?
No, I wondered what it was, and I'd forgotten that's what it stood for.
Oh yeah, AIU. AIUS, yeah. So Atheism is Unstoppable. I mainly shouted out because I've resubscribed to him. I stayed away for a while, but I just thought that his content is pretty awesome. And since he was one of the prominent people with like over 70k who was shut out from his YouTube account, completely shut down after it was probably before the advertise thing happened. Can't even remember what the term was, PewDiePie and all that. Remember the term?
I'm sure it ends in gate.
Yeah, something gate, exactly. Advertise gate, no PewDieGate, no. I don't know. Anyway, but I thought that he was a good exemplar, and it was really quite nice to see his channel to come back online for a while, until it's not. So I thought I'd shout out to him. Yeah, fanboy.
Yeah. On a side note, Maggie is gorgeous. I'm just gonna go like mildly gender preference switching for a minute, and oh my god, she's gorgeous. I would totally go there.
Okay. That's so cool.
Okay, I'm straight again now, but for a moment.
For you, Lana.
Justice war. We will right the left that claims the lie that rapes on campus soared. With facts and laughs and stats, we'll fight the feminazi hordes. The truth is marching on. Sorry, but it's true, yeah. Sorry, darling, but it's true, yeah. Sorry, but it's true, yeah. The truth is marching on.
Yeah, she is. She smashes that microphone.
social justice war. We will right the left that claims the lie that rapes on campus soared. With facts and laughs and stats, we'll fight the feminazi hordes. The truth is marching.
She basically completely overloaded the microphone when she sang about the feminazi hordes. It's just so I did my best to clean that up, but it was really quite jarring. Oh yeah, no, I find a fly in every ointment.
The truth is marching on.
Yeah. Oh my god.
That was really good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
She is like cute as a button here. Oh my god, she's such a shit poster on Twitter right now though. She's just crazy. So much venom. Okay, stop presenting.
It's understandable though. There's so much bollocks out. Like I'm getting so sick of Twitter. It's just so full of crap.
Yeah, it
oh
is.
my god.
And now it's got 280 characters worth of crap.
Oh.
That's
So
great.
people who made no sense in 140 characters make even less sense now.
I've had people all day not getting my point, and I'm like, I had 208 characters to explain this, and you still don't fucking get it. What the fuck?
I always say give them enough rope. So 280 is more than enough to put around your neck and hang
Let me
yourself.
give you a quick example of this cancer. So I'm that's why I've been quiet. Sorry, that I looked away to my phone, and I'm like, this guy's like not getting me now. Basically, I'm doing a why gun safety works in America thing, and I'm looking for and I've been trying to look for what's the percentage of people that own guns in America. Now, Pew's research has got 3,000 sample sizes, another one with about 4,000 sample size. Basically, I wouldn't call these representative sample size to say, oh, this is out of 320 million people, this is how many of 4,000 people we're going to say owns guns. Now, I reckon it's somewhere between 20, 30, or even to 60%, something like that. But I don't know. So I'm really, and the higher the percentage is, the stronger my point becomes. So I've decided to take myself to 10%. You know, it's not even it's ridiculous. If it's higher than 10%, which it obviously is, then I'm even more correct than I am already. But if I can do it with 5% and still make the same point. And now, how do you take that away to, oh, you're just picking and choosing whatever facts you want to use and whatever? No, I'm not. I'm actually saying I don't trust any of them, and I'm going to still say in my video, like, I understand. I think it's more between 20 and 60%, but I don't think that any of these things are actually fully conclusive. So I'm going to go with 10% to undercut all of the estimates based on small sample sizes. I think that's fair to put it down to 10%. God, it's got to be more than 10% that own guns in America. It's ridiculous.
Well, considering how normalized it is, you know, you would think that, you know, if somebody doesn't own a gun themselves, then their parents probably own one. And if their parents don't, their grandparents probably do. So, like, even if it's like in generation of 3, you know, that's still 1/3 that could potentially own guns.
It's what annoys me is it's like what he's not getting is, look, I'm not trying to appeal to everyone that just agrees with me already. If I go, hey, 30-something% on Pew's research, I'll have everyone going, oh, I like Pew. Yeah, I get Pew's a good. No, Pew's impartial, but they have shit sample sizes. And then there are other sources where I'm like, that's a shit sample size. Now, I have a feeling myself, it is around maybe 30, maybe 30 to 60%. I think it could be 60% myself, but you find all these different statistics on pro-gun websites and anti-gun websites. So what's really funny is anti-gun websites actually make it even worse as well. They're like, oh, 50%, 90%, because they really want to like big up how many guns are out there. They want to like, oh, look at all the guns that are. That's their whole thing. It's a fear tactic. It doesn't matter. Yeah. That only proves gun safety even more. That's the whole point. Yeah. It has to prove if there are more guns out there and fuck all people dying or getting injured, that means it works.
And then you look at all the people who have multiple guns. Or the doomsday preppers, for instance, where they've got like warehouses full of that shit. And it's like that, you know, for the amount of deaths and everything that they get from all of the guns, you know, the fact that nobody, like, the numbers aren't higher than they could be.
They're really not. Like, the
If
thing
it's
is that the majority. Oh, I'm going to go into this in my video anyway, so I'm not going to go into too much detail. But I've got because the majority of gun deaths as well are fucking self-inflicted. It's just ridiculous. So
Or
it's
kids.
like, no, it's self-inflicted. It's
Yeah?
suicides. Yeah, it's like half of the amount of gun deaths are suicides, pretty much. I think it's more like 2/3 of gun deaths are suicides. But people are going to commit suicide. You know what I mean? People are going to kill themselves. Hanging is the biggest suicide in the UK. We ain't got guns here, so we just hang ourselves with cord.
Yeah.
Fucking mental.
But that's harder, right?
If I had to choose a way to go out, I'd choose a gun.
Exactly. Why not? But guns. The thing is like as well as it just being a second, in the Constitution, it's a Second Amendment right to anyone who's a U.S. citizen. But from my point. I'm sorry, go on, Robin.
So I think I choose cocaine and hookers, but go on.
Yeah, the point I'm trying to make is like the whole point is basically I think to call it a problem is almost like saying, in my head, basically, if 99% of gun owners actually do gun safety, they obviously are very safe with their guns. Because if you talk about like one person can kill 20 people with a gun, yeah. They could easily kill 20 people with a gun. I'm looking at this from a one person killing one person with a gun, which we know it's usually one person will kill a couple of people, but I'm doing it 1 versus 1 and showing you the figures and then basically going, this is how stupid it is. And yeah, there was a lot of research involved getting the figures and stuff, but it's, yeah, I'm going with 10%. I'm pissing people off because everyone's like, oh, it's more near 30%. Yeah, on Pew's research of 3K. Yeah, well, 3K is not bad. You just don't like them. The methodology is your problem. No. It's not the point I'm making. I don't give a fuck about how they did it. 3K is not representative of 320 million people. I don't care who you are. Yeah. Unless you're saying Twitter polls are representative.
Yeah, that's the worst.
But isn't it funny how they'll take something like that, a sample size that small for something like gun control and go, this is a big enough sample size to express that this is how bad the problem is. And then you take something like the campus rape culture thing where the sample size is like minuscule in comparison to the number of people that go to universities. And they're like, but that sample size is big enough.
Oh, but we dropped that sample size into an equation which made it 320. I don't fucking care what you did. It's not representative. It doesn't work like that. It just doesn't. So to see 3,000 people, and then they've judged from that 3,000 people 32%. Well, that's 32% of the 3,000 people. That's not 32% of America. I think fucking ton. Do you know how big Texas is? Texas has a shit ton of guns. I think it's the first or second biggest state. I think it's second behind California. So it's like, and that's got a shit ton of guns. And it's like, given California probably has less because they're cooked as fuck, but it's not like people aren't getting shot there. Look at the other day. Yeah, exactly.
I think it's pretty awesome that they can be that baked and still not shoot anybody.
Wasn't there a massacre recently with a knife? Somebody, like the group of people with knives killing, I don't know, was it 2 digits or 3 digits? 70 people dead? Going through some...
I have a feeling I'm going to piss off so many people who are going to be like, you have no idea what gun control is. But here's what I see gun control as, right? Here's gun control. Not gun control. I'm going to piss off a lot of people because they'll be like, you don't know anything about gun safety. Because here's how I see gun safety. If you don't kill or injure a person with a gun, you've been very safe with your gun. Anyone else? I mean,
it's not like the gun gets up and shoots itself.
Yeah, exactly. So if you aren't shooting the gun at someone or injuring someone with that gun or injuring yourself, it's gun safety. I think suicide is another bracket. I mean, I can throw the numbers on top and it still doesn't matter. It still proves my point. But I take them off because suicide to me, people will jump off the fucking Golden Gate Bridge if they want to kill, like fucking people. If they want to kill themselves, they'll find a way. They'll take meds or something. They'll slit the wrists or something. A gun is just them going, oh fuck it, bang, done.
They were still in front of traffic.
Yeah, exactly. I'd rather they put a bullet in the head, honestly, because it's at least you're doing something about it. It's your choice. I don't think anyone should say that someone hasn't got the right to kill themselves. It's your life.
Yeah, but wouldn't it make it harder? Like, you know, if it's easy with a shot and it's clean, would it make it harder and be a deterrent that way? And then maybe you sort yourself out.
Would it be I don't. You know what? Let's look at the numbers, okay? Because I'm not going to put this in my video anyway, but we'll look at the numbers, okay? And I think it depends on population growth. So you've got about 24 million, at least from 2015. This is 24 million in Australia, living in Australia. around about or just underneath, but 24 million we'll say. So 24 million, and your suicides or something come to about 3,000. Okay, do you know how many times 24 goes into 320? 13 times roundabout. So 13 times your 3,000 and something will bring you, and that's if we're just talking about suicides. And then you get up to something like, I think in America it's 44,000 suicides, but these aren't all gun related. No. 22,000 are gun related, about half of them. But you're talking like, I think it's like if you look at the 3,000 or something deaths or something and times by 13, you get about 40,000 or something like that. It's like 3,500 or something, but you get 40,000 basically. So it's just under 4,000. The difference between a big country like America and Australia is about 4,000 suicides. That's the difference, right? That's the difference. It's about 4,000. Difference between America and the, I think the UK or something, and the UK's got 65 million, is about, actually, sorry, no, I think it's, let me get this right.
In absolute numbers, is it?
14,000 or something like that. I think it is 14,000 suicide differences. And they get that, again, that can be from anything. So there's a 14,000 suicide difference from America to the UK. But like I say, 22,000 include guns in the US, and the other 22,000 include all of the ways, carbon monoxide poisoning, all sorts of shit. And in America and in the US and in Australia and the UK, given they don't have guns, but people are just killing themselves any other which way they fucking can. People are going to kill themselves.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Well, they do a thing in Australia. I don't know if they do it all over the world, but they have quite an issue of people stepping in front of trains.
Fucking hell.
Like, that's just like the go-to. And so it's almost compulsory that if you're going to be working in that industry, there will be mental health services involved, because you are just to expect that that's going to happen at some point.
Yeah, exactly. This is the thing. Like,
you can't shoot yourself, so step in front of the train.
At least with a gun, you haven't got these people jumping in front of traffic and shit like that. Like this is what in my head, I'm just like, I'd rather someone did that. Like, people are like, oh, I don't really want to rot my insides with taking pills and stuff. I don't want to sit there and choke to death on carbon monoxide poisoning. Like, some people don't want to do that, and they can't actually go through the actual process of killing themselves. Or I don't want to slit my wrist. I'll have to sit here with my arms hurting and shit. Like, some people are like that. They just want to. They want to kill. They're that selfish. And as far as I give a fuck, if you would kill yourself if you had a gun, you want to kill yourself. Do it. I don't give a shit. Like, it's your life. From my point of view, but you're gonna find a way. People are hanging themselves, jumping off bridges. Fucking people find a way to kill themselves if they really fucking want to. It's mental. You can't stop that.
Yeah, and controlling the implement that they use to commit the suicide is completely the wrong way to go about it. It's a mental health issue. There should be like something done to support the mental health of these people, not control the guns that they're using to kill themselves with.
But this is the thing. The moment you bring in gun control on top of this sort of shit, the reason why it doesn't work is because you are literally saying, oh, well, if a small minority of people use their guns badly, therefore judge the 99+%. That's the problem with the argument of gun control, is that you're tarnishing everyone who's not. It's like saying every man's a rapist, because a lot of men are rapists. And even though if you looked at the population of men, it'd be like maybe, less than 1% of the population of men that are actually rapists. Oh, but it's men that are rapists. The majority of men, it's not, even though women rape as well, they do, is the majority of men. Even though it's hard to convict a woman due to the law, it's one of these fucked up things. So it's like, it pisses me off, because people are just judging, again, 100% on fucking nothing. It's like it's like a Pew Research study. There you go, 4,000 people, less than like 0.0001% of the US population, and we're going to use that number to judge the other 99% and say this about the whole of the country as a national scale. It's fucking mental. I don't know how they do that.
Statistics.
Yeah.
I know, but I don't care about your fucking stupid calculation you threw in to try and prove your point. I don't give a fuck. It's subjective as fuck.
Yeah. But I mean, like, Australians used to have guns, and then you had one guy in Tasmania who shot up a whole bunch of people, and it was a huge thing. And they just implemented gun control. We have as many deaths from gun-related incidences now as we did before guns were illegal. Yeah, so they went through and cleared all these guns out. It made no difference.
We still have gun deaths in the UK as well. It's just not as many, obviously, because it's a black market thing to get guns and stuff like that. And obviously, if there is a gunshot reported, my God, there's a crackdown on that guy with a gun. But it's a constitutional right in America. I don't think you should change that is one of. It is such a fucking thing in America that I'm so against anyone really like trying to dismantle the Constitution, because it is a foundation of the country. It really is, and it's one of the fucking strongest cards that America has, and any citizen has, is their constitutional rights. It's so fucking fundamental to being an American, and it's the reason why I want to be an American is because of that point. And this is the problem that I have, is that you have these people trying to fuck with the Constitution, and based on what? Fucking nobody. Like literally one guy over here in this fuck you. Stop doing that to everyone else in the country. That's wrong.
I really think that's really the strongest argument. All the other ones, you know, they're kind of pale in comparison. I mean, you know,
I'm making like a 5-minute video on this today. I'm just scripting it so that it's worded right, because you know what people are like. You know, people are like, fucking jump on anything.
They'll pick holes. Did you see?
You'll say then instead of than, and they'll just be all over it.
God. I swear down this side with me going, I'm thinking of doing it because I call it gun control. I know what gun control is now, but in my head I was like, well, people are able to control their own guns, aren't they? Isn't that? That's how I saw gun control. Is obviously people are in control of their own guns. They're not killing people. Like what the fuck? Like, oh God, it's mental. It's mental. It's so stupid. And this is the thing, and when I talk about gun deaths, I'm not including the ones that have come from police and stuff like that. I'm just including all. I'm literally including them all just to make it really simple, including the police deaths, and I can throw the suicides in if I really want to. The figure is pretty much the same because it's only 22,000 difference, but on such a fucking big number, it becomes like 0.something, like 3% or something. It's fucking nothing. Can't wait to just get this stuff together and explain it. Brilliant.
We're gonna watch that. Looking forward to it. But you should. You haven't done it. You should have done AIU's. Watch his video just to get you really fired up on it, and you can bring that up as well. You know, he made a Twitter poll on guns, so and then he's obviously taking everybody down 10 notches.
I did the same thing. That's where this started from. Is me basically saying to people, this is my question. Okay, would you say that it's incredibly fair for me to say? That is in like, is it really generous, really fair, okay, to say that 10% of America owns guns? That's ridiculously fair, yeah? Like, because obviously it's more than that. No one got that. No one got that. That's not actually accurate, Cog. It's like 40 of it. I'm not asking for accurate. I'm asking, is it ridiculously fucking fair to say 10%? How hard is that to understand? I'm not asking for the accuracy.
Well, 10% or at least 10%. That's what you meant, right? You meant at least. Yeah, see, that's the thing. You should have put in at least. You should have put in at least. That's the thing. Then everybody would have agreed, right? Well, if you say 10% exact, it could be interpreted as around 10%. Language. It's so, I don't know. It's so, what's the word? Don't know what the fucking word is. No. I'm German. Yeah, it's ambiguous. Sorry, it is ambiguous.
Right, Real Raven, congratulations, but I am actually going to have to get off, dude. I've literally just ordered food.
Thanks. No worries, enjoy your food, and thanks for coming on. That's great.
And unfortunately, I actually have to go as well.
Oh, God, someone come on here for it.
That's okay. Somebody will come on eventually. I'm just gonna go for. I was planning for 2 hours anyway. I'm gonna go for a little bit longer and see what the chat says. Chat, shall we shut it down? See you later, Cock. Thanks for coming on.
See ya. And I'm gonna head off too.
Yeah, you traitor.
I am.
Well, next time. No, that's great. Are we going to do another one next week?
I suppose. Maybe.
Okay, cool. And should I do it a little bit earlier for you so you get some sleepy time, whatever? Get to bed early, being able to go to work the next day. Would that help?
This time was not too bad.
Okay, cool. All right. Okay.
All right. See you, everybody.
Care. See you, Lana. I'm on my own. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, cool. Let's play some music then. Let's get the chat window back. Chat. Hangouts. Okay. Share. Okay, here's one I did with Skeptor. Is it loud enough, chat? Oh, I need to present it, sorry. I always forget that. And kept on screaming, how dare you? She couldn't quite explain it, just asked him what his name was.
Is that sexual harassment? Humongous what?
There was this boy who tried to code some video games that no one lifted by, but then he had a great plan. Okay. Changed sex and said that people harassed her. She couldn't quite explain it. Instead, he made some scary faces. But both girl and boy were one. We still don't know the preferred pronouns.
Then there was this girl who gave some people herpes and then told them it was just fine. But then when Donald Trump won, her tweets look like she's somewhat bipolar. Says consent is sexy, but only when it's yes, please. DMCA copyright claim. DMCA copyright claim. Oh geez, that went by fast. Everyone's political position has moved now. Cons in the UK are more like Labour, Labour more like Greens, and the Greens would be totalitarian if they had power. Yeah. Well, I'm really scared about UK, the way that changes now. People getting, it's almost like Germany. People getting arrested for tweets and shit. That's crazy. And then, yeah, they have they're planning this huge coalition in Germany because AfD gets too big for their taste. I think they still believe they're kind of like neo-Nazis. Wow, I think I turned down my volume, did I?
a little bit. No, yeah, I turned it down. That's better, I think. You have a communist party with Corbyn, and now Theresa May is under threat of being fired. He thinks he has a shot. Fired for what, Davey? Can you elaborate? And sorry for the lag. Now build up with this space. So, did everybody catch this? Let me just see. I put in the Russian star into that Google animation. I thought that was here. That's from me. I thought that fit well. How many people are watching now? You only need 8 more MPs to call a re-election. Ah. Okay, so there's this thing, they had that in Germany as well, non-confidence votes. I think it was called once by one chancellor. Can't remember who that was. It's been a while. So they could actually just call for re-elections. 9? Oh, 9 are watching. Oh, that's loads. Hide this. Yeah, I haven't really planned very much for this hangout, to be honest. I just wanted to say thanks to all the subscribers. 10! Wow! We just got 10% more subscribers. Haven't fallen asleep yet. I'm working on it, Steel Rain. I'm working on it. I'm gonna make you fall asleep. I've got my studio. Let's just switch this camera on for a second. I got my studio redone up, so I might have shown it on a different live stream. So I got this beautiful new mandolin. Little studio tour for all of you, right? A little bit of gear porn. Is that okay? Type 1 if you want to see some studio gear porn. So yeah, I got a couple of headphones apart from the ones that I have on, all AKG. That was my first, this one was my first very cheap replacing a pair of Sennheisers, which I really loved. Now, that's an electric mandolin. Let's just see if we can set this up. Now, I haven't plugged it in, but I have to replace there's still factory strings on there, but you get an idea anyway. So it's like a little electric guitar. It's alright. It's alright. I'm really shit with lyrics. Can't remember lyrics for shit because I have the memory of a goldfish. So there's that. Then I got further back there more stringed instruments. There's another, that's an acoustic mandolin and a bouzouki, which is sort of like a big mandolin. It's let me just fetch this for a second. I don't know why I have my headphones on anyway. That's like a originally from Greeks, this instrument, but this is the Irish version, an Irish bouzouki. Let's just get this mic down a little bit. Whoa. I can't really make up my mind how to set up the camera, whether it should show the left hand or the right hand. Can't show both. Oh yeah, I can actually. No, I can't. I can't do it. nice for power chords. Sounds really sweet. I like it. I used it in lieu of electric guitar for a while because it's got at least a little bit of sustain, but it's tough because it doesn't really sound like an electric guitar even through the pickups because it's got double strings, so it's more like a 12 string. That Bouzouki fires armor-piercing notes. Yes, it does. Probably through this mic as well. Bazooka, yeah. Okay, and then yeah, what else have we got? We got me. Yeah, we got me. We got the piano over here. Kawaii. It's kawaii. Let me see. Do we have sound? Need to check if you can hear it. Oh yeah, you can. You just need the headphones because. So one trick to set it up would be. Now the reason that this perspective on the camera is so low is because I moved my monitors to be in between. Let me zoom out. That will make it easier. A moment. Zoom out completely. No, that's better. So I moved out my camera. I moved out my monitors to be between the speakers because they were to the right earlier. They were here, where that now you have this space and this little heck with the microphone coming through a hole on the desktop at the moment. So, oh yeah, we could have some recursion here now. Ooh. Oh yeah, and on the top you got these this shelf. It's just above this, so I had to kind of squeeze in the monitors, and I can't put the camera on top of the monitors anymore. So it has to be down there. My mechanical keyboard. I know it's filthy. Oh yeah, and then the start of a cup collection, Gary Orsum cup. And Regina Spector. I'm gonna get more. I want to start a cup collection of YouTubers, and that's a good way to get the merchandise going. Support people in their channels with merchandise. I mean, I don't know what I'm talking about. So, the piano is a Kawaii MP5, and it's going through this Focusrite compression Penta, Focusrite Penta. It's called. You can see those yellow LEDs that go down. It's basically what I'm taking out in order to make it louder. Yeah, you take out stuff to make stuff louder. You take the peaks out and then everything else, you make it up. You turn up the gain and so it gets louder. You got huge sustains and stuff. Can only play with one hand now because the other hand holds the camera, and then on top my mixer, and here to the right MIDI Sport 4x4 for getting the notes from the keyboard into the computer, not the audio but the actual notes I play. So, and underneath the Roland JV1010, a nice sound module, and this very dusty looking Panorama P1 as a remote control for my Cubase, Nectar. So I can just kind of hit play and record and all that good shit. And record and redo and loop and whatnot. Oh yeah, and then that's my new recording interface underneath that Patch Bay. The old one is the one in the middle, Delta 1010 audio, and the one underneath is a Steinberg UR824. It's got 8 microphone inputs. But what you're hearing is, you hear me through the old interface. And you probably hear me very low because I'm away from the microphone, sorry. Alright, okay. Oh yeah, and then what's on top? One more thing, this Produce 2000. And that's a kind of there's a synth machine. A lot of the music in the 90s was produced with this. Okay, that's the studio. And I need a louder with Crowder mark. Oh, yeah, I'm not supporting. Remove what red lines. Yeah, Mocha. That's exactly the thing with the compression, right? You remove when you're hitting the red, you remove that, you push that down, and that means that you can really get into it and play really loud, but you can play soft also, and it's still audible in the music. You do that with vocals a lot, with guitars, with any instrument, and obviously with drums. With drums, you do it a whole lot. One of the tricky things, actually, I can show you a little bit of, if it's interesting to you guys, I don't know, I can show you a little bit of studio technique, what I'm doing with making my drums sound punchy. So let's say we have a drum beat here. Let's just find a drum beat. Da-da-da. Ba-ba-ba-ba. Just want the drum beat, that's all. Here we go. So I already did some work on that kick to make it punch through. Now, show you what I'm F3. What I do with that kick. Okay, so there's a really nice trick. Let's just turn this off for a moment. That's without it. So that's the kick. I'm just gonna get rid of that. Just gonna get rid of that snare and the hi-hat. Okay, so that's the kick. And this plugin is called Smack Attack. The red line or the orange line shows what it adds. So basically, it takes the top portion of a sound, the attack. And this top portion, we call it transient. So it's the part, the noisy part, the loud part at the top. When it would be the pick or the hammer, or the pick on the guitar, the hammer on the piano. Basically, that noise that happens. And I also raised some sustain there as well. I'm just gonna set that back now. Let's get rid of this sustain. You see the little peak there? That's the smack of the drum. So it adds that just at the very front, and then I add some sustain to add some body. This is kind of the body of the drum, that, you know. So that's one way to make drums bigger, just a tiny one. And then obviously all of this stuff goes into a drum bus. So let's go to the drum bus. So you go into a bus there, drums, and then you could go and put that through more compression. Let's say DBX 160. Takes a moment to load. I'm completely overloading my machine here. Which basically, there we go. Start with the drum. Let's see, Punch Factory. Okay, where are my drums? Where's my bass drum? I need a bass drum. Come on, guys. Okay, let's just... Alright, I know what I have to do. There. And the way we use the... Okay, let's just stop, because I don't know if I'm loud enough. The way we use the meters in compression, we set them up so that they don't show what's coming in. They show what's taken out. It's called gain reduction. So you can see the needles at 0, so nothing's taken out. And then when you start playing, it will take out some of the impulses, flattens them out. So once we've done that, we can make the whole signal louder by that amount. If you're taking out minus 3 dB, you can make everything 3 dB louder without hitting the red, and you get really loud drums. Yeah, tail feature, everybody has abandoned me, but I'm used to it. I know I wouldn't run an audio program while streaming on my computer. I mean, it's it's real difficult to do that. Really hard. It's so hard to. I might make a technical stream about how to do this, but you need a really fast PC and you need a decent internet connection. And I didn't have one for years. I'm only recently got fiber, so it's a little bit better now. But there's also stuff you need to do in software to make your computer kind of deal with it. What really helps is this. If you have a decent fast machine, I'll show you what I have. So I always just look at my performance when I'm doing something. So that's basically what my CPU is doing. It's an i7 quad core and it has 8 separate threads basically, so it's more like an octa-core really. So when I'm playing, it's about 42% used up. That's not all Cubase. A lot of this is hogged by streaming, by Google Hangouts. I can check how much of my CPU is used up by Cubase with this BSD performance meter. Yeah, so it's more than half. That means I'm quite heavy already on plugins and whatnot. Not really running many virtual instruments, but yeah, plugins. There's a decent plugin chain on the master channel. That's my master channel. So the way that I approach mixing is, let me just put that down a little bit. Just there. Is I got my inputs here, then I got all my channels, the piano should be here, the vocals, everything. I'll just play it for a sec. Just turn it down. My drums, bass, guitar, everything color coded, and then I'm routing. So the drums go to a drum bus, voices go to a vocals bus. That's it. These orange faders, they're basically the buses. That's your vocals, that's your guitars, it's your drums. And then there's parallel compression, which I'm using for some of the instruments, and then there's the master. So everything is mixed into sub groups, and then the subgroups is mixed into the master bus. And then from the master bus I can go stereo out. I used to go directly stereo out, but now I don't, because I have reference tracks that I play through the stereo out. So if I have any processing on the master bus, it should not affect my reference tracks. So I have reference tracks for comparison to see how close am I, how good am I. And I only put things like analyzing plugins like this tonal control on the master. So they don't change the sound, they just show it. Let's have a look at the chat for a moment. Good luck at work, tailed feature. Catch you later. Yeah, it's getting very, like, I wish I knew shit about music. I could understand it. The thing is with music, everybody understands music to a point. You know, you listen to a track on the radio and you like it. You know, it just talks to you. So everybody understands music at the end point. You know, either it grips you, it's amazing you, or it's kind of talking to you on an emotional level, or it doesn't do that. You know, that's the end point. You know, and when I'm doing all this technical shit, I always have that end point in my eye, in my view. I always think, okay, how can I get there? I hope I am sharing my screen. If I'm not sharing my screen, then let me try that. Were you seeing my screen all the time, or was it just now when I clicked on present to everyone? Shit, I don't really know. Let me check. I'm really bad at streaming yet, and that's a practice thing, obviously. At least that's my excuse. Let me see. Yes, you are. Yes, I was always sharing my screen, yeah? You were sharing. Okay, thanks. So present to everyone, that's probably only relates to whoever is in the actual stream, not just watching it on YouTube. By the way, if anybody wants to come in or join, now is the time, because I'm going to wind down relatively soonish. So I'm just going to do this one more time. Add this Hangout link one more time for whoever wants to talk to about whatever. Now, so yeah, so what we had in the late 90s, early noughties, and was still kind of ongoing, but we had the so-called loudness wars. It started with, I think, Guns N' Roses. They wanted, everyone is at work, dude, that's okay. No, that's fine if you're at work. Don't risk your job for this, guys. It's not worth it. Or maybe it is. So everybody wanted to sound a little bit louder than everybody else, and loudness is something different from peak. So peak is basically what you see on the meter when you're playing a track. Oh, for fuck's sake. So when you're playing a track, I'll just turn it down so I don't hear it so loud because it's distracting me. Here, everybody has seen these meters. Let's just rewind to the intro so we have less. Come on. Play the track. It's not playing because there's no music. Oh, there it is. So you see it's going up to 0. There's lots of level on left, not so much on the right. I don't know. I think Google Hangouts is retarded. I don't think it actually transmits in stereo. I haven't found out a way to do this yet. So that's one of the tricky things. But you see this peak value, but then there's also another value of loudness, which is down here. That's basically an overall loudness of all the signals measured over time. And there's some broadcast rules nowadays to have that roughly around minus 14 dB, so not at 0, because if you had it at 0, you'd basically be full on noise all the time. These broadcast standards that are coming in now that are trying to force people to produce program content that is hovering around minus 14 dB loudness will lead to a point in time where when you're watching television, the advertisement is not excruciatingly loud all of a sudden after watching a movie. Everything's normalized to that loudness, and that doesn't mean that peaks are louder or less loud than a certain value, but it's the overall loudness. And it's always if you produce music that's louder than that, then music especially, or content, then the broadcasting services will just turn that shit down by so many dBs, and it will actually ultimately be quieter. And that's basically what you do anyway. The ear gets tricked. Louder is better for ear, always. The ear thinks, hey, this is better because it's louder. But then if you make it very loud, you just turn down the volume and then it's not louder. And then if you compare it to another mix, then suddenly, hey, it's not that great. Then you haven't done it right. So if you turn up the loudness, what you lose is dynamics. That's another term. And for that, I'm using BX Meter to look at dynamics. A nice little plugin. I'll just turn that on. Oh, come on, it takes so long to load. The tonal balance control is good as well. State set volume. State set volume. Yeah, let me see. I want to see it. Oh, it's here. It's just here in the background. It was hidden by the chat. So what this thing shows you is the relationship between the loudest signals and the least loud signals. And it's this blue line here. And that is between 0 and 6. So it's basically 6 dB, 6 decibel of dynamics, and that's good. And if you get smaller, 5 dB, 4 dB, 3 dB, your mix will start to sound flat. So you put in a lot of energy from the low end and push it all up, and suddenly you don't get any smack, you don't get any boom, you don't get any emotion. It's just noise basically. So it's really hard to get. If you have a dense mix with lots of instruments, then this tends to go down. Tends to go smaller, you know. So this one's pretty good. EU regulations for light bulbs and vacuum cleaners. Well, I do remember Ireland was the first country that got rid of smoking in pubs, which was amazing to see that happen in Ireland, you know, as the first country. Ireland was always kind of priding itself. There was all these, you know, the strikes in Ireland and stuff that, you know, they were all a little bit standoffish, I don't know. And there was nobody protesting against that. They were just, yeah, okay, fine, we're going to smoke outside. It's fine. I think it turned out for the better anyway. It's a lot nicer now to go out than into a really smoked up pub. I think that one of the main reasons was to protect the bartenders, you know, the employees there, because it's a workplace as well. Oh, hello, Malachite. Welcome. Malachite. Let me just share that Hangout link one more time. Offstandish work. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't really know where I'm taking this channel, to be honest, guys. I'm gonna keep making parody songs, and I'm probably gonna keep making them at this slow pace, you know, every 3 weeks or whatever, you know, and not regular, because it's just can't. It's just really hard to organize that. And I don't want the quality slip back down. If you go back through my back catalog, you can see that, hopefully you can see or hear that it has improved, that the quality has improved, which is partly because I agonize over how I can make stuff sound really good when mixing. And then partly because I've invested quite a bit of money, a ton of money, into my studio, not just the hardware that I just showed earlier, but into like effects and plugins, software plugins, to make stuff sound more authentic. And then obviously a lot of time into learning how to use them, which is another thing. You cannot just buy a lot of shit and then think it's gonna sound better. You have to put the time in. So I want to, at some stage, open maybe a mixing channel or something, a parallel, like for the more serious kind of work, but that's not yet decided. I'm definitely going to have a website, and I'm definitely going to offer mixing services professionally, and going to turn that into a business for next year. That means that if you have a song, you're a songwriter, or you have content you want to publish, I can take the raw tracks and mix them and make them sound proper, and master them, make them sound loud, make them like stand out, make them sound more professional. And what's part of production as well, that's mixing. What's part of production as well is making decisions on what to take out where. Like, you know, you have a verse and you've got all these guitars happening, and then you have a chorus and you want the chorus to lift. So you might take some stuff out of the verse, you know, it's like, or maybe not take it out completely, just take it down in the mix, make it low, and then let it really happen in the chorus, stuff like that. Have I had many requests? No, I haven't. Almost inspiring. Yeah, almost inspiring. I haven't really had. I had requests from people. Oh, can you do a remix for me? And they wouldn't really tell me what they want. I can remix stuff. Mixing means that you put together different stuff, right? So mixing means you have more than one track. So when you remix, you want to have some raw tracks to work with. You cannot just take a stereo track and remix it. That's not possible because you don't have the single components like I have here. Like I have here in, you know, I have vocals, I have guitars, I have basses, I have drums, I played some tambourine, so I can mix everything individual. If you want to change an existing completely already mixed down track that's just a stereo mix down, then that process is called mastering, which is also, it's a different kind of tool. It's a different kind of, not tool, it's a different kind of skill set, but it's also something I'm trying to learn. But it's actually a lot harder because what you've got in the mix, you can't just like vanish stuff, you know, you can't like so that, your singer is a little bit pitchy, it sings some off notes there in the mid 8 or whatever, please fix them. You cannot do that unless you have the single notes, you have the single track, then you can do these things, and tidy them up. And you can even do things like make the timing better. If somebody plays out of time, a bit ahead or a bit behind, you can tighten that stuff. But you can only do it if you have the single tracks. And then you can do loads of stuff. I mean, you can literally completely redo the song. That's what the thing is about remixing. So yes, I had requests. One of them was Cognitive Thought, actually. He actually did this rap on his channel. I hope you guys have heard it. It would be wise to float the idea before making a business out of it, get a consensus of people that would like to clean up their music, Real Raven. Yeah, like what you're saying is market research, but it's actually difficult. Who do I ask? I have my audience here on this channel, and I know what they're into. They're into this ready-made stuff that's kind of mimetic, memes turned into music. So that's fine, but they're not necessarily the target audience for doing like mix or production work. That would be musicians, and there are some big musicians channels, musicians and music teachers, and teams like production studios and music production schools out on YouTube, and some of them have quite big channels, like Adam Neely. He's a bass player, for instance. He'd be a good example, somebody who teaches. Then there's Mixbus Online, Mixbus TV. They're like they are basically studios that do mixes. They do also have recording studios, so they can invite the musicians to their studio. But there are people who just specialize in the mixing only, so they don't even need a recording studio. So you record your own shit at home, or you record it into a semi-professional studio, and then you bring back the individual tracks, or just download them on Dropbox or whatever, and then you just upload them and send them to a mixer / producer, and then he's going to turn it into a song. That's the idea. Yeah, and how do you do that? How do you do market research? Where do you find people? That's not so easy, because you may be a great musician, and you might be decent technically, but then you have to get into this whole marketing shit. You have to be an entrepreneur. So I see a lot of my friends on YouTube are it would be interesting to see this idea outside of YouTube too. But you can have it outside of YouTube. I mean, you and you do have it. I mean, the first thing I need to set up is a website, that just says, okay, this is my studio. Insert name, Real Raven Studios. I have another name, but I'm not going to float it right here because I haven't registered the domain name yet. And have the website, and then put up a price list. That's the first thing, so people have an idea of what you're charging. And yeah, I am actually diversifying what I will do. So there's stuff like I'm just not very focused. That's the thing. I like focused on one thing. I'm very kind of scattered. I have so many ideas. One thing was with the Patreon to do like remix sessions and show exactly how I'm working on the music. And just have it for patrons only. I was also thinking whether I should put that straight on my channel, just for you guys, for all my subs, but it might just bore the shit out of people, Streams, at least, if you're bored on a stream, that's not so bad. That's probably par for the course, There's a certain masochistic elements about going to like listening to streams. It's like, will I really waste like 2.5 hours of my life listening to this? That's the way that it is. Yeah, but I do have. I already had some musicians here in the studio recording, you know, but I wouldn't release their work on my Real Raven channel for obvious reasons. Then there's another thing that makes it really hard to do kind of advertisement for music production, and that's copyright. So a lot of the stuff that you work on when you're producing music, you're not necessarily cleared to play that music back on your channel. You know, because the artist might say no. Look, the artist says, "Oh, I have a contract with this recording company, or I have my own company, or whatever, and we have exclusive rights for publishing this song or material from this song on whatever iTunes, whatever, you know, publishing channels we have. So you can't play it." Yeah, yes, you have mixed it. Yes, we give you credit for producing it, whatever, you know. And we've paid you for it, but no, you can't play it to other people. That's a problem. Then there's people who teach about music, like Rick Beato, and they play they make a 2-hour stream and they play a minute and a half, 3 examples, you know, maybe Chet Baker, Miles Davis, Wes Montgomery, whatever, you know, some jazz records that are out of print. You can get them. You can't even get them anymore, you know. You can get them on eBay somewhere, you know, secondhand, and they get copyright strikes from Universal Studio, you know, for, hey, you've played our music, now you have to take that stream down, teaching people, you know. And what he said, like in the stream, he played like 30 seconds of the solo and said, "That's great. I've transcribed the solo, and everybody buy the record, you know." So he made a video about it. Why big recording companies still suck, because they're kind of late to the whole game of publishing on the internet, and the kind of, I don't know if they're afraid of that shit or if they just don't understand it, but you know, they just say whoever publishes music or shows music or shares music or whatever online live takes away from our profits, because we should be the only, I think that's the mindset, we should be the only righteous way of sharing music, you know, via the shops that we have, these really expensive channels that we have, because, you know, bringing music into a shop is expensive. You have to rent shelf space and stuff like that. So so what you hear on the official, like, big radio stations, a lot of the music sounds the same, because these companies they can't afford to take risks. They will only play what's safe. So at the moment it's EDM, electronic dance music, and the certain kind of subgenres, you know, for like songwriting, they work, and they give it to a handful of producers, you know, a small like pool of producers that have proven that they can kind of produce it in a way that it's ready for consumption, for mass consumption, and that's why everything sounds the same. Everything sounds like it's produced, it's written by the same songwriter, produced by the same producer. It's just crazy, because everything, let's say everything in the mainstream music publishing channels, you know, like radio, for instance, or television, you know, because people can't take risks. They don't want to take risks because the margins are too small. And then if you release something independently as a musician, you have to be aware that you cannot make money with it, because, you know, when you stream something or you show something live on YouTube, let's say, and then the idea is you get a fan following, you play to people for free, because who wants to pay for music, right? And then you go on tour, and then that's where you earn your money. You sell CDs, you sell merchandise, T-shirts, whatever, you know, or you give like an experience, like a live kind of thing, you know, to people. So you tell them, you know, come to this club, come to this concert hall, come to this hotel, whatever, pay a tenner in, or just come in, you know, and buy our CDs. And that's where the money is. And the internet, that the music is free, that's fine, it's good, because there's so many people who want to be heard, and but you get an audience for free. So that's the trade-off. You get people to listen to you, and you don't have to drive from city to city, you know, and do a late night gig and hire a van and get a PA and negotiate with the club owner and hope that the bouncer doesn't run off with the money. It's all, I've been there, you know. It's all there, you know. So yeah, but yeah, the big companies, they are opposed still, because, you know, they had a golden era. They were really earning a ton of money when it was just them being the gatekeepers of that content. All right. Getting a bit serious here. Vaporwave, yeah, and future funk. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I like. There's one. I don't know what the genre is called, but they take this kind of music from the 30s and 40s and put a drum beat on it. I don't know what that's called. Dice. I'm really bad with modern, like subgenres of music. You may have noticed that I haven't really dabbled with much EDM-y kind of stuff on my channel and my parodies. It's all kind of really old school, you know, kind of rock and pop and shit. Like I love pop because I just love it. I just like pop because I think I have a knack for making stuff poppy. I just Cuphead. Cuphead. I know the game Cuphead, if that's what you're referring to. I mean, that's really, they have a really kind of fun way of kind of, what we call it, a pastiche. It's kind of like music from the 30s, but I think they were actually not using original music. But there was a video game, Mafia, not Mafia 2, the original version of Mafia, and they played some original music in the game, which I didn't know at the time. I thought they were pastiches, but they were actually real Django Reinhardts, and then these barbershop quartets, you know, these close harmony singing and all that good stuff. And that was amazing. That was so amazing for the whole atmosphere of the game, you know. Amazing. So I don't know where I'm going with this, but I'm still hoping that there's going to be, I think I see that there is sort of a renaissance for more acoustically based music. I just look at Ed Sheeran as an example. I mean, I don't particularly like his music, but I do like that there is an audience for like simple music that's not necessarily electronic, you know. It's not necessarily just one big synth. It's not necessarily dubstep, you know, these huge noisy sounds, you know, they have a place as well, but that shouldn't be all music. Okay, let's have a look. I'd say the stream is pretty much winding down now. I don't think that there's many people. No. What did I want to shout out? I wanted to shout out to some other channels like Diana Davison or Feminism LOL. That's one of the channels I would highly recommend. Yeah, games with barbershop, that would be good. No, listening is good, Malachite. I appreciate it. There's probably a huge lag with the chat now. I'm just watching the chat as well. Now, let's have a look at what we're working on. I'm just gonna... I always have this in full screen mode, Cubase usually. But let me try something here. Now, I'm gonna get rid of this meter. Now, okay, that's better. Now, file. Let's look at what we're working on. Dark Bird. Now, I can't play you that. That was some guys from Dublin I was working with. That's Goodbye, remix of a song I was working on with a friend. Pancake, yeah, that's not good. Long story. Another song, another friend, singer-songwriter. New Time, another one. Dark, what's that? Oh yeah, Dark Bird, right. Right, Kathy, oh yeah. Tell Me Why. Okay. Les Mis. Oh, okay. There's some giveaways here on stuff, on future stuff I'm working on. Dream Pepe. Oh yeah, there's a nice one. Let's check this one. Just gonna save. No, can't. Okay. Dream Pepper. Let's get that. So my objective was always to get around these restrictions and we've got stuff copyrighted that you're using by just replacing it with my own music. And the process is a little bit slow at the start, you know, when you start doing this. You know, first when you start making parody music, when you're kind of recreating music, can I do this? Am I able to do this? Am I good enough? Because, you know, you're basically choosing, hopefully you're choosing something that was a hit at once, or, you know, went in the charts that everyone knows, because what's the point of making a parody of something that's completely unknown? And so it's going to be damn well produced. It's gonna sound really, really, really good. And what you're gonna do is gonna sound really shit. It's just the way that it is when you're starting off. It's just not gonna sound like that, you know, because you'll have cheap recording gear. You'll have a bad recording computer. I call it DAW. DAW. Let's have a look at this one for a moment. I'm just gonna zoom this big meter there. Okay, let's see. What is this? Oh yeah, it's something I did with Lana Lacious. It's called Dream on Pepper, and the video was made by a really talented animator, and I'm blanking on his name right now. Just don't want to give you the wrong name, so let me just go to my channel. Let me just go to my mix Mad World. I think that's part of a playlist. Yeah, my music production. Okay, so raise a couple keks, and that is Walla Walla Tuna. Walla Walla Tuna is his name. Oh, he's brilliant. He made this animation. Let's just get it on screen there for a sec. He wanted this, it's a bit loud, but he wanted this vinyl noise at the start. And that's a hard one to produce, so I might get Telt Feature to play the guitar on this again. Yeah, I love this video. It's so cool. With the tadpoles. the shouting. The shouting lip tart seems to be in every second one of my videos anyway. Oh no! Don't drink it, man. Don't drink that tap water.
rage is not a little fortune too. But in your memes the truth can be seen. Raise a couple cakes with me.
It's a piece of art. Yeah, I have to do something with him again. The God of Chaos. Oh, thanks. Yeah, 2K. Who would have thought? I was using... Oh, where is it? I was using this for the vinyl noise. It's a bit of an abuse of a really good plugin. It's actually called Abbey Road Vinyl, and it's replicating the behavior of a cutting machine, a vinyl cutting machine. So you can put the music to it, and it gets this sheen of. But yes, you can also add noise and crackle, and if you want noise. Okay, all original, but then there's other stuff like, you know, phase modulation, stuff like that, that makes the music slightly warmer. It's a certain influence on the way the bass kind of responds, which kind of makes vinyl records a thing, you know, they sound different from, let's say, CDs. And so, yeah, you can replicate that with this plugin, kind of. You can also play back to different cartridges, different tone systems, kind of different record players, you know. So you play back, you cut it through the machine, and then you play it back through a turntable. So there's those two things. There's things like wow and flutter, which is basically modulations in the speed, because the motor of a record player is never 100% like constant, so you get slight variations in the speed, which is like a very slight vibrato. It's going slightly higher, slightly lower, off from 440, and it all adds to this atmosphere. Yeah, it is a cool plugin. It's really cool. I have to do more with it, especially for this old school stuff. What I wasn't happy with on this track at all is the guitar, because it's not a real guitar, unfortunately. Well, it was a real guitar, but it wasn't. Just to explain that a little bit. What's real though is the mandolin. Hold on. Let me just get the mixer up one moment. I can't hear. Okay, there. That's better. Okay, so the mandolins, where do they go? Rotating. There's a mandolin channel. So that's obviously real mandolin. Played it myself on my acoustic. But if you look at the guitars, where do they route it? Oh, they go directly. Let me see. Yeah, they go to instruments bus, so I have to do it like this. And they sound a little bit plasticky, to be honest. Or they're just stiff, because they don't really change. Because, you know, they are, after all, just a virtual instrument, unfortunately. So, if I'm doing this, you know, album release, I want to up the quality a bit. So if I can get Tailed Feature to play this part on a real guitar and record it for me, that would be awesome, you know. This, because it's a little bit, I don't know, it's kind of lacking. I mean, I tried, you know, I tried to add a little bit of tricks here with that solo guitar. No, shit. Here, there's some pitch bend there going on. Or modulation. So just adding this slight vibrato that you get when you kind of wiggle your finger or your on your left hand when you're on a sustained note. You get it just a little bit, you know, just a little bit to make it a little bit more alive. Yeah, that's acoustic guitar from Sonivox, and then another one I like to use for bass. It's also from the same company. Don't know, I mightn't have used it on this. Let me see this bass there. Bass. Might be. No, I'm using Halion there. It's an upright bass, that's why. Let me play that live for a second. It's pretty good. They're all samples. They're based on sampled, basically snapshots of real sounds of real instruments. So they have a chance to, they stand a chance to sound a kind of sound like the real thing, but they don't change very much. You know, a lot of samples are multi-sampled, so you get different sounds if you hit the note slightly, and when you hit it harder, you get a different one, and they're kind of cross-faded. So that's one way to make them a little bit more alive. So you play them at different volumes, so they're more like a real instrument where the sound constantly changes. But even if you play the same note twice on an acoustic instrument at the same volume, it may sound different. It always differs. It always sounds. And there's things like fret noises on guitars, which you don't really have on sampled guitar. So all sorts of things, you know. And then there's probably guitar players don't necessarily always sit still. So if you record with a microphone, even the distance to the microphone makes a difference to the sound. There's so many things, and I discovered, like, once I buy Stargazer, but when I upgraded my studio and bought the new recording interface I showed you guys earlier, I also got better microphones. I got a pair of stereo mics, Rode MP3, I think they're called, matched pair, I think, and then a nice vocal mic, SC1100, and that made a huge difference. I said, because I always thought I want to be able to record guitar, but not just DI it, not with a line that goes, an electric line that goes in somewhere, but record the acoustic sound, and it makes such a difference. You know, your music comes to life once you anything. If you're producing music or writing songs or whatever you can do with a real acoustic instrument, do it. You know, even if you can get a snare drum, you know, from a toy drum kit or whatever, or you get one of these. Let me just switch on this camera, and I'll show you what I have as well, what I'm using sometimes. If I can find the stream window. Too many windows, God. It should be this. Okay, stop presenting. Camera. Right, so give you an example. Oh yeah, one of these. Toys. Oh, toys. Where are my toys? Where are all my toys? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, there. This is really cool. Oh. Tambourine, very important, very loud, and this one, a very cheap instrument. But if you know how to play a bit of keyboards, it's a pretty brilliant one. There. Let's see. god, that was bad. Oh god, that was bad, sorry. Okay. Everybody bored yet? A hand holding lighter emoji. That's so cool. Yeah, that's how you make music sound come alive. Just pick up some silly old thing for 20 euros, learn to play it, blow into it. Or just play the piano, I guess. Just a bonus. Just a little bonus there. Let's play some Sakamoto. God, how do I set up the camera so it's... Why can I not do this? Alright, sorry guys. Sorry guys. There. That's the best I can do. On your left you can see a native rate and it's natural. Okay. Let's see. Let's just grab some Sakamoto. God, he's kind of cool. He used to play with a Japanese band. I call it the Japan's answer to Kraftwerk, the Yellow Magic Orchestra. Very good. And he's kind of the piano guy in there. Da, 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 da. Let's see. It's a bit schmaltzy, but let's play it anyway. Oh yeah, now I'm on the bass sound now, so let's change that. Let's just get us on the kawaii. Let's get us on this instead. Of course it doesn't want me to, so I need to make sure I got direct monitoring. That's fine. Okay, so why are you not playing with me, baby? You don't want to? Yeah, 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 yeah. I had it earlier, didn't I? I swear it was working, and now it's not. Do 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 do. So that's the hell that is here. There's nothing playing back. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough, ski. Let's see if we can get another piano then. La 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 la. Instrument. Let's try and grab Piano Tech 5. I haven't bought 6 yet. That's another 150 euro to upgrade to that. Okay, let's see. Okay, there's something there. Can you guys hear that? No. Okay, I'm just making sure I can hear it. It's just a little bit lag for me right now, but you get the idea. Okay, I want a bit louder though. Can't really hear it myself. No, that's better. Good night, Mocha Joseph. They're leaving me. Take it easy. Where is it? Okay, oh, I'm down there. Right, let's do it again. Oh, it cut out. Sometimes it cuts out when you're doing these live streams. I did it again. So I don't know if that's gonna work then. But it's a nice sound too. I never practiced this, so I just played that off the sheet. So sorry about the bum notes and all that shit. Raven unplugged, yeah. Yeah. It's just I'm a bit bummed out that I couldn't play the live sound from the piano. Don't know, must be something with the setup of this particular song, Dream Pepe. So yeah, I guess. Everybody's leaving, so I think I'll call it a day for now. It's been 3 hours. Well, thanks for celebrating 2K subs. I hope I'm getting a few more until the end of the year. You know, aiming for maybe, I don't know, 2,200 maybe by Christmas. I don't know. Maybe 3K next year. Who knows? And yeah, I forgot I wanted to enable the super chat, but to be honest, with like 8, 9, 10 people watching, it's probably not really worth it. Wait till there's about 50. So, to the moon! To the moon! I'm the moon man. Okay, so that's great. Like, I don't know, leave some comments after the chat if you want me to do some more, like, talking shop about music production. What's your thoughts on this? Should there be like a dedicated video on it, how I do it on the process? Should there be maybe a dedicated stream on it? I like talking about music a lot. There's one problem with that, you know, I'd really like to have a musicians stream, and that's one of the reasons I invited Lana and Tail Feature, because they're both musicians in my eyes. Well, they are, but you know, obviously not only, but you know, that's one of the main things. And I'd really love to talk about music. There's one problem: I cannot really. You can talk about music till the cows come home, how great Pink Floyd or whatever, but I can't play any examples. So, you know, you can tell people, okay, go to there and play it from there, but I can't play it live. I can play my parody songs because I kind of own them, but I can't play any like third-party music. That's the nature of the beast. So that makes it a little bit disheartening. Really, it would be nice if I could, you know. It makes it a little bit awkward because it's like talking about food, you know. It's like talking about food and you can't show the food. Let's say, you know, at least pictures of the food, you know. Maybe I could show album covers or something, I don't know. But yeah, that's the thing, you know. But still, it is going to happen. I'm going to try and organize another hangout next week, and we'll see. Maybe we'll grow some more regular people coming in. And yeah, business. This is the thing. Like, I'm not going to go into full-time programming, whatever that is. You know, I'm always going to make music production, but I really, really, really would like to go into full-time music production and be a YouTuber at the same time. You know, I'd like to keep that. This is really what gave me hope, you know, to actually end up in music professionally. When people when you guys started listening to my stuff, you know, and liking stuff and just kind of just listening. And then I had a couple of quite viral videos, not on my channel, on other, like on Felfop's. There's one that had like 40,000. The what's it called? Is it called Dear Mummy? I think Dear Mummy. It was a deer or something. It was one of those flip script things. Yeah, Alkita, stay with me, everyone. That's great. Oh, and did anybody else want to? Oh, well, I'll hand out more wrenches on the next stream, definitely. I want everybody who comes in regularly getting a wrench for kicking the. No, not kicking anybody out. We're not gonna exclude anybody. Now let me see if that piano's back. Ah, it's back. So it was something in the setup of the song. That's there. Okay, that's cool. That is kind of cool. I really like this piano. Let's see how nicely this compressor works. I showed that to another musician, that whole kind of studio, and he said it's gear porn. Now, some epic chords for ringing out the stream, right? I don't intend to become a millionaire, Malika, Davey, but it would be cool to not starve to death and being able to finish the mortgage on it. That would be, you know, that's about it. You know, I'm not into fashion and big holidays and shit like that, but I have a bit of a weakness for buying music equipment and plugins. I must have spent about $2,000 or so in the last 2 years on software. That's, you know, man, it pays back. It pays back with better sounding music, with better sounding sounds. Why is that not loud enough? My piano can never be loud enough. I practiced. If you look on my Patreon, you see the actual piano. You know what? I'll share it on screen because I don't want everybody to have to go there anyway. The piano that I learned piano on at my dad's house. Let me just share my screen for a sec. Share. Okay, what is this? What's all these knobs? Look at the knobs. Let's go with this. and go to Patreon. Oh, camera is in the way. The Patreon. Patreon. Okay, there should be a picture of the piano. Let me see. Yeah, that's it. So that's a Steinway grand piano. Well, it's not a huge one. Yeah, it's nice. That's what I learned the piano on. And first it was I had an upright, but then my dad got this. Oh, it's an amazing instrument. It's great. Love it. Now, my dream is I won't have space for a grand piano in this house. It's just too small a house, but I want to get a Kawai upright at one stage. I have a Samick next door, but I don't use it that much anymore. It's detuned at the moment, and it's not great. You know, it's not even Korean. It's Taiwanese. I think Samick is a Taiwanese make, so it's kind of cheap copy of something, you know. But the Kawai upright, that'll be it. Kawai upright piano, something like this. That'll be my treat for not next year, but one of the following years. They sound so sweet. They sound so sweet. In the meantime, I'm making do with plugins like the Pianotech, which is quite an amazing sounding virtual piano. Let's just add a piano track, instrument track. Where is it? And it's good. It's got pretty good. They got a Pianotech 6 now, and they were allowed by Steinway to finally use that name for the models. It's modeled piano. So Steinway D Prelude. Let's have a listen to this for a moment. It's pretty good. Hold on, let's make sure you can see the interface. You don't need to watch this. Yeah, that's better. I'm just going to make that a bit bigger. Let's put it to 150%. Okay, now you can see what's going on. Now, what's with the left pedal? Not working? Should be working. Should be working. Baby, baby, baby. Is it in the wrong expression? No, it's not. That's weird. Right pedal is working, but the left one isn't for some reason. That's a pity. It's got a sustain pedal. Or is it harmonic pedal? No, una corda. Right, and that moves all the keys to the right. Why would it move the keys to the right? I hear you asking. Because then it will actually hit less strings. It will actually only hit. At the top you got 3 strings on each hammer, and then in the middle you have 2 strings, and only the very bass notes have 1 string. So when you hit that pedal, you get a softer sound. One of the strings isn't hit by the hammer anymore. So with the 3 string, the tops, there's only 2 strings hit, and the 3rd string is just going to start swinging later on, like a what's it called? A resonance string, you know, like an open string on a guitar that's just swinging along, that wasn't hit. And the middle ones is 2, so 1 string gets hit and the other one isn't, and you get the softer sound. It also has less volume, but it also sounds different. So you use the right pedal. Very different to sounds. Then if you switch it off, then you get this brighter kind of feel from that 3rd string, you know. It sounds brighter. A Petrov. Wow, my parents' house is a Petrov Grand Alkita. I wonder how close. they can come pretty close. The thing is, this doesn't use samples, so it's actually a modeled instrument, which means that it's based on physical models of the real world, and it basically has it calculates what happens when you hit a metal object, a metal string or a pair of strings or 3 strings with a felted hammer, a wooden hammer covered with felt, when you put that into a wooden enclosure, and then what happens when, for instance, you take all those felts off the strings, what noise will happen when you hit the pedal. You get, I can turn that up, just turn that up, the damper duration, mute, key release, sustain, pedal noise here. I'll do it a bit louder, right? You hear that? I know that noise. Right? So that's actually the real noise that it does when you press the sustain pedal and lift off all the dampers from the strings. What's also amazing, it's got real sympathetic resonance. So if you press some keys, let's say these keys. Okay, I've pressed the keys, that means the dampers are off, but they don't sound because there's no energy put in now. Now if I hit a key that is below and has these keys as part of its overtones, then they will start swinging. Demonstration. So you can hear the E, the B, the high E swinging. And I loved doing that on the real piano. You know, you just hold down some keys, and it would have this pedal where you can actually kind of freeze the keys. It's called Sostenuto. No, what's it called? Yeah, Sostenuto pedal. So that'll freeze those, and then I can do it. So that now they're swinging, you know. Let me just. Now they're all swinging, right? Those 3. So, and that really adds to the kind of more natural feel of this particular virtual instrument, that it kind of feels like a real instrument, you know. Then you will hear the damping felts being lifted off as well. This is all sorts of kind of tricks, you know. But then obviously also the way how hard your hammers are. So on an old piano, the hammers get harder because the felt on the which covers the hammers, it gets kind of played and it gets hardened. And one thing that you do as a piano technician, you would actually recondition these. You'd make them softer by putting in needles or something, or maybe slightly working on them with some very light, what's it called? Sandpaper or something like that. You know, there's different ways of doing this, but you can basically set how much the hardness changes on playing low piano volume to loud forte piano. Piano forte is basically an artificial word that comes from low volume, high volume. Piano means low in Italian and forte means loud. So piano forte was the instrument that you could play really low and really loud. It's got the biggest dynamics. It's one of the biggest dynamics anyway, you know, apart maybe from some brass instruments. It's just quite amazing. And you can consistently play lots of stuff in different volumes and different layers of volumes, which you cannot do with a lot of other instruments. When you put in a lot of volume, the sound changes a lot more. And the piano is kind of more consistent in that way. It gets brighter, definitely, because your hammers, your felt, relatively speaking, gets hard through the impact. So it's like you're hitting the metal strings with a hard object, so it's a brighter sound. Whereas when you're playing softly, the felt is soft, so it's kind of more gentle, you know, that sound. But you can change all these. You can change you can change the tuning, obviously, different types of tunings, and then they have what's really nice about it. They have sound recording. Where is it? I'm new to this. I don't have the full interface normally, but you can actually place microphones around the thing if I can find it. If I can. Is it here? Ah, there. So that's where you place your microphones around the piano. So it actually acts like a real physical object. So you can, for instance, change the angles in which your and the height in which your microphones are set, and how many microphones, up to 5, and what type of microphone. So it's like in a real studio with expensive microphones and a perfectly tuned piano. Record yourself playing and compare waves. I can do that, yeah. I can do that. Oh yeah, at Alkita. Yeah, Alkita, if you have do you have a YouTube channel? Let me just ask you in the chat. Alkita, do you have? Do upload something if you can. Now, it's not so easy to record a piano with a microphone. It's actually very hard. It's one of the harder instruments to. It's actually comparatively easy to record vocals. It's just something, the way that the piano interacts with the room that it is in. You know, it's not just the piano. You don't just like stick a microphone into the piano. You get a very nasty sound with it. You have to place it at the right place in within the room, the microphone, and point it at the right thing. And then if you have stereo mics, you want to point them correctly so you don't get like phasing issues and stuff like that. Okay, it gets too technical. And then one of the ideas is that when you have a sound in sound recording, is to have it kind of dry and then add reverb later, rather than recording the room with its imperfections and just relying on the room to give you reverb. Reverb is basically the bouncing back of the signal from the walls and other objects. You know, whatever happens after the actual notes have died off. So obviously most of these modeled instruments have their own reverb modules with them. How do I get back to... I need to hit this X. So they have an effects section, they have maybe convolution reverbs that are kind of sampled reverbs from halls, and they might have other ones. They might have like completely weird reverbs, like a spring reverb, which is something you'd have built into a guitar amp or something. You know, it's quite nice to experiment. The Taj Mahal. Let's try this one. So that's a huge reverb. It's just like it's just endless. Like so that's impressive. You could use that surely somewhere musically, kind of for something. Okay, but the concert halls are pretty nice, depending on the music. Now, the problem that I do have with virtual instruments, if I have a amount of processing going on, that there is a slight delay between me pressing the key here and that it's playing back, especially when I already have like mastering plugins in my chain of like processing, basically. So this doesn't feel quite as nice as when I take the sound directly from my Kawaii, even though there's no comparison in the sound. Now that's a sampled piano. Sounds very in your face now because it's going through the compression I talked about earlier. So yeah, Alkita, if you could record something, that would be nice. I can certainly record something here. I can I can record like MIDI notes the way that I play them, right? Hold on, needs to be. So that records the notes. So it's not actually recording the music, just which keys I pressed at what time. So that's a big advantage, because you could potentially, you know, fix stuff. You can change notes after you've recorded it. Let's just see, there's all the notes G. You can change that to G, F sharp now if I want. So after recording. Okay. Okay. No problem. And then I can play that back. I can play that back on different instruments, so I don't have to use that piano sound. You know, let's say I have a MIDI sound. I have a MIDI track, Kawaii. I'm just gonna send that out to my. Send that back to my Kawaii now. There we go. Just copy that down. Mute the piano track and then play that back. Okay, it's not playing back. Let's see on channel 1 maybe. Alright, still not. Yeah, there it is. So I'm not playing that live now, I'm just playing it back. Okay, I'm just gonna loop that. Let's just shorten that. Okay. Then I can compare the Kawaii, the piano tech. And now I could start, and let's pick a different sound. An upright, be a killer. Let's make it sound really old. Let me see, where's the... that's a weathered. It's nice. Let's close this. Oh yeah, there it is. There's this condition slider, so you can make a... look at the Blüthner Grand. And you can make a from mint condition to really old. Until it's completely fucked. That's roughly the state of my real acoustic piano. Well, not quite. It's probably here. Yeah, so it gets detuned and weathered, you know. Okay, so that's fun. And then they have electric pianos as well. Let's say I want a... one of the most famous ones would be Fender Rhodes. Let me see if I can find that. Tynes Reeds, where is it? Well, the electric piano. Let's try this one for a moment. No, yeah, well, it's kind of... so that's a different model. Let's see, electric vintage Tynes. Oh yeah. Weird. Oh my god. Planet N. But I'm actually looking for... oh my god. Extra soft. My ears. Davey, thanks. Thanks for coming, man. Really appreciate it. Yeah. Al-Qaeda, yeah, Al-Qaeda Safari. You should have a YouTube channel. You seem to know what you're talking about. At least you're complaining when I'm cancelling up the noise, the sound here. Oh, it has been a long stream. Free Press, why didn't you jump on then? I sent you a login. Anyway, I think we're gonna call it a night, or a day, whatever time it is. And thanks for joining. And just to see you off, I'm gonna play one more of my tracks, and then I'm gonna call it a night. I'll call it a day. Do something productive with my life. This one. No.
There was this girl who thought that every white man raped her with his toxic stare, but
Shady Lay.
when she met our friend who she snapped and kept on screaming, how dare you? She couldn't quite explain it, just asked him what his name was.
Is that sexual harassment?
And shout outs to all my collaborators. Hope there'll be more. Shout out to Skeptor and Gary Orsum. Dr. RandomerCam. Oh, and Free Press of KEKISTAN.
And said that people harassed her. She couldn't quite explain it. Instead, he made some scary faces.
Next week. Oh, shoutouts to Stacy King. She's awesome too. Bye bye everyone. Thanks for joining.